Quick, Aura, tell him to get to the YouTubes.
I'm gonna tell him to get to the YouTubes. Hold on, like I got to Instagram message him first.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Well, I mean, that's fine. We got people who are probably going to be joining up here. Let's put out the tweets. Oh, wow. John is quick with this shit. 1 minute ago. Jeez, man. John, you savage. You savage fiend. I love you, buddy. You're the best.
I love you.
Every single time, like, I'll call John, right? Like, I was with Jasmine last night, and we're in bed, and John like sent me a message. He's like, "Hey, do you have time to talk?" And so I call him up, and the first thing he says is, "Hey, what up, baby girl?" And like, Jasmine just starts cracking the fuck up. I was just like, on fucking point right now.
Yeah. It better not be a lie. It better not be a lie. He said he was coming. Like, you should be here any minute. I messaged him. I did the thing.
You did do the thing.
What the hell is this?
Guys, first off, would I ever lie to you? Yes. Simple answer is yes. But in this situation, no, we did not lie. Origami is messaging him on Instagram right now. He knows the time of the debate. We're waiting for him to drop into the StreamYards. We'll give him a little bit. We'll let people join in. So stay tuned for that. If for some reason he doesn't show, I wouldn't see any reason why not, because he's been messaging with Aura all day today.
No.
Yeah, you got the backup thumbnail ready. I hope we don't have to use the backup here.
I don't want to say it yet until after I find out it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't want to change the whole background that we got set up. I actually prepared, because he said he was going to destroy me, and destroy anything that I had to say. So I spent like 10 minutes preparing, and I got some beer, so I think I'm ready for this shit. Here we go.
Is he here?
Yes, he's here.
Settings for 1 second.
Breakthrough. Hello.
I think he needs a minute.
Oh, do you need a minute, buddy? I can take you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can hear you.
Okay. Just give me 1 second. Let me see if I can change from the webcam to the actual microphone. Let's see here. How does this audio sound? Does it sound decent?
It's not bad. It's echoey, but it's not bad.
Echoey. Here, let me change it to 1 second.
Do I sound like a robot now?
Now it's really quiet.
Yeah, it's a little lower. Are you using a Yeti?
Yeah, I don't know why, but it always does this. Unless I use Audacity, no matter what program, if I change it to my microphone, I sound like a robot.
Yeah, I was going to say, try turning your gain up a little bit. If not, it could be your wire malfunctioning, because there's like a static in there.
Oh, no. Yeah. So
is it really that bad when I change it to here?
It's you can understand you're audible. It's just like you boom a little. So Crow, if you can handle it.
Yeah, I don't mind. I think everyone, like, if the chat's, I'm sure the chat will tell us that there's any audio issues, but I can hear you, or I can hear you.
Yeah.
Let me do this really quick.
Yeah, chat.
I can lower the webcam volume a little bit and get a little bit closer. That way, picks up less echo. Perhaps.
I think you might be good. And like chat. What do you guys think? Yay or nay? Yay or nay? Literally.
This is a first timer.
Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of someone actually seeking an interview for controversy like this, yeah, definitely the first time.
Well, happy you actually made it. Yeah, it's fine. I don't care about the little echo. I think we're good. All right, so let's get this started, gentlemen. You ready?
Yeah. So let's just go over everything here.
I'll open it up. Ready? Okay. So welcome everybody across the Judgment. I'm Origami, the moderator for this debate that's going to be happening. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sit on the sidelines, try to keep everybody in check and on point. Thank you first and foremost for actually showing up.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thank you for having me. I'm open to many things.
Yeah. And I will let you introduce yourself and what you do, and then Crow, you take it away.
How's it going, guys?
Oh,
Breakthrough
wait.
Gaming.
One second.
No, he goes first or me? All right.
No,
all
no,
right.
you go first. But the ground rules basically, stick to the points. If anything comes up like out of bounds, I'm pretty much going to step in. Language, Crow? Language? Anything goes for language?
No, we won't be insulting each other. I don't think there's any need to do something like that.
I'm
No,
just
no, we seem pretty civilized. Yeah.
No, I'm not even talking about insults. I'm talking about just like generally.
Oh, yeah, we're not going to say anything that could get us taken off of YouTube.
Yeah. Am I forgetting anything?
Yeah, no sandwiches.
Yeah, I want them anyway. Go ahead, sir. Take it from there.
How's it going, guys? I'm Breakthrough Gaming. I've been doing Last of Us Part 2 videos since late 2015. People think that I started 2 years ago, but it was actually much, much longer than 2018. There was a lot of controversy surrounding my channel. Some of it was accurate. Most of it, in my honest opinion, was not accurate. And we're here to clarify that. And I'm happy to partake in a debate. First time I get invited to anything at all like this. So I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on, and I know that you did respond, so I respect that. I know that you weren't keen on the way that I had reached out to you. So first off, I'll go ahead and apologize for being offensive in any way there. I try to be a little comical, and I saw the video title, quartering is a pussy, and I said, accept the debate, don't be a pussy. I was trying to riff off of your title video, but I apologize.
No, and I get it though. I get it though, especially with the image that was being painted. Not your fault at all, so don't worry about it.
Now, you said that some of the things that have been said, you do think that they're fair, but there's a lot that you don't. I guess before we begin, I want you to put into your own words what you think was fair. What do you think was unfair? Because I don't want to beat a dead horse if you already agreed to the point,
Okay. I think the main thing that was fair was people's assumption. I'm not saying that I agree with it or to be true, but just saying that I understand why people reacted the way they did. When you look at a channel that's made 100% from The Last of Us Part 2, and then for some odd reason he changes the bio on his channel right after getting called out. And then on top of that, what other symptoms was the quartering talking about? My aunt's name that was in the bio back in 2015 when I started the channel. If you were banned once, you had to restart a channel with someone else's name. So I put my aunt, I was staying with her at the time, and I used her email, and I literally never changed my YouTube bio after that. I had Red Dead Redemption there still as an upcoming game. That's how outdated the bio was. But again, coming from the point of view of a random person that just finds out all the bad things that Naughty Dog is doing, all the things, the malpractice that they had with employees, with abusing copyright, and then they look at a YouTube channel that's solely dedicated to The Last of Us Part 2. I don't blame them. That's the main thing I wanted to express. I don't blame them for thinking what they were thinking, whether it's you or the hundreds of thousands of people that have probably one way or another had an opinion about me.
Okay. Now, let's just get the record straight, because I know that you've talked a bit about this on your channel. So I'm looking at the chat. Will you pay your mom back yet? I don't know what that's about.
They're just making fun of me because they think my aunt's my mom or the bio.
Nah, it's a troll. It's a troll. Don't worry. Keep going.
Okay. Wrench Squad, if there's too many trolls, I trust you to do your thing. Now, let's just clarify the point. Have you ever worked for any type of company? Because I know that was the big thing that people were speculating and jumping into your channel and accusing you of. Have you ever worked for any type of company that has paid you to promote this game in any way, shape, or form?
No, but I would love if that was the case. Yes, and I would gladly say yes. And I could care less what people think. With all due respect, I'm still getting the game, but no, that's not the case at all. Yeah.
Okay. Now, you said it was a fair point, so I was looking at your channel. I said, well, I've seen sites that they do get paid to promote content, and usually it's at the start of the video. Normally, they're not just talking about one game, so it does seem like you're a real fan of The Last of Us. And I was told that you do another channel where I think you stream with somebody else. I don't know if you're like.
Oh yeah, that's another thing that
Yeah.
this is what really threw me off from the quartering. Him bringing in Demon Asylum into this. That's my friend since I was 12 years old, and I have no association to that YouTube channel, the one that does all the Borderlands and the Fallout glitches, mod exploits. I
Okay.
have zero association to that, but I found it really amusing how the quartering, for some odd reason, felt the need to connect that, or yeah. It's just a friend of mine, literally.
Okay. I that's fair. I just wanted to get the air clear. Now, one thing that was in your profile or your bio, I don't know if it's still up there. I know you. I think you said that you went back to making regular content for your channel. That's avoiding most of this drama that's been happening. But you did talk about how you're going to be covering other games. Are you still planning to do that, or are you strictly just going to stick to The Last of Us 2 right now?
For the next, well, the only other game that I'll be covering now will be Cyberpunk and Ghost of Tsushima, just because I really, really, well, truth be told, I'm sure I could grow more passion into other games, but in terms of research that I've done, aside from The Last of Us Part 2, and it's probably the release date time frame, how it's all coming out back to back, Cyberpunk and Ghost of Tsushima this year. Um, those two games. But from here until the release of The Last of Us Part 2, I'm going to stick to The Last of Us Part 2. Once the game comes out, it's going to be at least a good 30 days of nothing but The Last of Us Part 2. And continue to do The Last of Us Part 2 for the next year, but just also implement Ghost of Tsushima, Cyberpunk, spice things up, and yeah, why not? It's already been almost 4 years, 4 years just talking about the same game. I was talking about this game like November of 2015, saying that it was going to be shown at E3 2016. It was a wild guess, but that was the start. So I'm getting a little tired of it.
Okay. I think that clarifies a lot of things people were wondering, because I looked at your channel, and I was one of the people I said for like 2 years. I think the longest back I could go on your channel was about 2 years. It was The Last of Us 2 content. Dave Marks is asking. I think we've cleared this up. So no working for Omnia Media.
No, Omnia Media is a YouTube partnership company. Someone, I don't know if this is true or not. I never did the research on it, but someone said that Omnia Media was connected to Sony. Even if that's true, all Omnia Media does by themselves independently, or like their actual service, is nothing more than Machinima back in the day, Yaosh back in the day, or what we have now is partnership companies. I just so happen to be doing YouTube since 2009. That's why I put the bio with someone else's name, because at the time YouTube was enforcing the whole no new channels if you get terminated once. But I started working for Omnia Media like 2012, very, very early on, before any of the famous people that they have now are part of the team. But again, I get how people are going to immediately start to connect things, especially if Omnia Media by some miracle was actually connected to Sony, which some people say it's true. I'm not sure if it's true.
So there was something, I think it was in your channel, that said reviewed and approved by Omnia Media. So you do have an association with Omnia Media, correct?
Yes. His name's Austin Long. He's one of the main recruiters in all of Omnia Media. I became friends with him through RSP Productions, which was the first ever YouTube channel that I opened. That one has 600,000. And fun fact, people don't know that that's actually my channel. But yeah, it was just a friendship, and that channel ended up dying down. I began to focus on The Last of Us Part 2, 2015, 2016. That's when it really picked up. At the time, for me, 10, 20, 30,000 views per video was amazing. So I stuck to it. But again, all the relationships that I've acquired, whether it's Omnia Media, whether it's Demon Asylum in my YouTube bio, like, it doesn't matter what it is, literally, it's just because I've been doing YouTube for 10 years or more. Yeah, 2009 was my first year.
Okay. Actually, before we begin, so people do want to give you credit. Kurogani Uzumaki, I have to give props to Breakthrough for coming forth and being upfront during this debate. Most people wouldn't be as upfront as him during debates like this. And then Magic Mosquito, credit where credit is due. So I will say that that is very kind. Our chat's very respectful. Now, TBH, at Crows of Judgment. So why delete that after it was called out, though? Do you no longer have the reviewed and approved by Omnia Media on your channel? Has that been taken down?
I took it out not because anything changed. It's still the same exact thing. When I opened the channel in 2015, I talked to Austin and I let him know that literally on the contract it says Deborah Rivera. I purposely put everything off my name legally, even the tax paperwork, even the direct deposit doesn't even come into my bank account. And to this day, it still does that. Just because my channel is growing, even though it's at a standstill now with all the controversy, it's growing at a point where I don't want to lose it. So even though, according to all the staff members in Omnia Media and a bunch of other YouTubers, I've seen people like Dom is Live create a new YouTube channel. I used to be friends with him, and he never put anything in his bio. I think it was just the first 2-3 weeks. So they're not enforcing it anymore. That's why I took it out. But deep down, even if they wanted to enforce it, everything behind the scenes is still completely under my aunt's name.
Okay. So, and that's who it was, Deborah Rivera, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
Deborah Rivera. Yes.
All right. So I think that was probably why a lot of people would, like, even me, I was saying, like, it seems odd to think that this is a site that's for 2 years being paid to do Last of Us 2, right? But then you look at all the other stuff, right? And like the Omnia Media stuff, I have no knowledge of any sort of connection between them and Sony, but it looks suspect, and I think that's why people would jump to that conclusion. I think you did make a fair point in one of your videos where you said the quartering. I'll be clear. I don't think the quartering directly stated. I know he has very clickbait thumbnail. He has very clickbait titles. That's the nature of the platform, unfortunately. And to be fair, I think some of your videos about the quartering were kind of clickbaity too.
Oh, I know. I had to give him some of his own medicine.
Okay. So I think that's probably why a lot of people jump to that conclusion. Now, I guess the final point to that, and this is the one where, like, I saw it and I was like, I'm a big Pokemon fan. Like, I love the Pokemon games. It's been forever.
Okay.
And when Sword and Shield came out, even though my channel has nothing to do with Pokemon content other than the other than the little far-fetched, surfetched image you see here, we gave out a copy of Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. Now, I will admit it's a little excessive. You're giving out 50 games of The Last of Us 2, 10 of which I believe are special edition copies. I did the math on someone else's stream. Based on Florida with sales tax,
it's going to be roughly like $4,000, roughly.
About $4,000. Now, have you already paid for those?
I do have about 70% of all the money right now. I own a smoke shop in downtown Kissimmee, which is the city where I live in. It's really not that big of a deal. I know that people that are huge, like the Rad Brad, they do 2 copies. But again, one of the main driving factors for me even being able to get to 60,000 solely on one game was that, month after month, I would literally just keep expanding the giveaway. I could show you a video back in 2016 where it literally started with 2 copies of The Last of Us Part 2. That's part of the reason why most of my videos are either privated. I never delete them, so I can corroborate all this information, send you links, you can look at it all yourself. But what started with just a 1 copy and turned it into 2, then 5. Then from 10, I jumped to 25. That's the first time I was like, hey, you know what? Screw it. It was late. It was like mid 2017. I need something to keep people excited. And last time I checked, I have hundreds of thousands of views every month on a game that's not even out yet. I don't want to do a basic giveaway where only 1 out of every 10,000 people win. And even then, giving out 50 copies, it's still a really low chance of you winning. So with all due respect to most people that were saying, oh, it's got to be fake because it's too many giveaways or too many copies in the giveaway, it's really no big deal. I mean, even if I can't get the early edition, I'll get 40 of the regular ones, wait it out, and just ask 10 out of the 50 winners, hey, do you want Ghost of Tsushima? Do you want another game? There's got to be, from the 50 random people I pick, at least 10, 20 of them right off the bat are going to tell me they don't want The Last of Us Part 2. I can already feel it, especially if I give them the choice of picking another game. So it's really not that much money. I'm not even throwing down all the full amount at the time of release. It'll maybe be about 2,500, 3,000. And the last 1,000, that's going to be focused on the special edition and the editions that if you want it, you want it. If not, then I'll just give you another game. Yeah.
Okay, now I got to be very clear here. There's a couple people have made a point about the deleted videos, which I do want to touch up on because I believe I saw one of your videos where you said that you've only ever deleted one video directed at the quartering. And I believe John, Toy Bounty Hunters, he actually has 2 videos that you deleted because he was watching your channel at the time that they went up, and he did clip both of those videos. And he played them during his stream. Now, John takes his streams down, but he did go ahead and send me over the clips of them. So I do want to touch upon that. But one thing you just stated here, you say that you're putting the money together, so you haven't bought the games, but you are planning to pay for them out of pocket, correct?
I already have about $2,600 just put to the side, and
Okay.
I get paid once a month with the structure of my business. It's me and another partner, and we have 1 employee. So once a month, we distribute everything from here to potentially 5-6 days. I'll have all the money completed. Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you have pre-orders set for all of these games, or no?
Only 10 of them. I've already picked 10 out of the 50 winners. I haven't told that to anyone, but I am working on a video to update the world. That's got to be my next video, considering how many people every day are like, hey, 25 days, hey, 20 days, hey, who's winning? So I'm gonna ease into it. I don't want to announce all the winners at once, but I definitely want to have all 50 of them picked by the time the 19th comes, and then just keep that momentum, that hype going on a week-to-week basis as we get closer.
Okay.
So,
Yes, sir.
John issued a correction.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Correction, I clipped the first video, the quartering clipped the other one. So I will say this. First off, I think it's great that you are paying out of pocket for these games. I did a stream about this, and it was actually our thumbnail that you used in your video. And we'll go over the devil comments and everything.
I love this part. All right.
Yeah, we'll get into that one. But in the stream, I did say that I can understand why you would buy the games and pay for them out of pocket. It's good for your channel. It's good for your viewers. It builds a bit of a better relationship and everything. But I have to say, you said even if I can't get the 10 special edition, I mean, you do kind of owe that to whoever wins to make sure that they do those 10 special editions. And I'm sure you're going to do your best, but we got to be very clear here. If you announce a giveaway and you say, hey, I'm giving out 10 special editions, and later you say, hey, I can only get 5. I mean, I think that you would acknowledge that'd be a pretty bad thing to have.
No, that would be pretty bad. And the reason why I haven't even, the reason why I said it here in the debate that we're having, or conversation at this point, I really have no bad intention, but you're right. If I am announcing something that thousands of people get to read on a weekly basis, and from those thousands, hundreds and hundreds are participating in the giveaway. Yeah, you're right. I should have already had all the LE editions taken care of, but I didn't. And at the time when I could pre-order it while it was still available, which now all the pre-orders are back available, so I'm gonna order all 10 of them in 4 days as soon as I get my check from the store. I just, at the time when I could have actually pre-ordered it and guaranteed had it, which was, I think the pre-order started. Then the pre-order started. It wasn't December 2019. It was like January 2020, if I'm not mistaken. Well, at the time of the first wave of pre-orders for the LE edition, they sold out instantly. And I remember being in New York, just looking at my phone, and at that point I got a little sad. But then they delayed the game again from May to June, and that got my hopes up. That gave me a full 30 days extra to prepare to make sure I have it by the time it comes out. But yeah, no excuse for that. That is something that should have already been handled, and I assure you guys it will be handled. And also another thing that I'm doing, I'm recording myself going to people's houses. So it's not going to be all 50 locations, maybe 10 different people in 5 different states. I'm going to start with, out of the 50 people I pick, I'm hoping that maybe 2 or 3 of them are from Florida, where I live. That way I don't have to travel that much. But I will go state to state, and I will be showing people's reactions. And it's going to be just fun. It's going to be fun. And I know a lot of people are going to be disappointed after supporting my channel for years and years and not getting a copy. But that's why I want to continue doing giveaways. And it's never going to be on this massive scale. I don't think I'm going to do videos on a game for 4 years, back to back, the way I did The Last of Us. But Ghost of Tsushima, I'll do 5 copies. Cyberpunk, I'll do 5, 10 copies. It all really depends on how the community reacts and how many views I'm getting, for these games.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm sure, they're your viewers that are watching your content. I'm sure they'll hold you accountable to the promises you've made for them. And I'm sure you're going to do your best to keep those promises. So,
Thank you.
Yeah. Moving forward, the deleted videos. you did now you did do a video, and I think it was the one where you said quartering is pussy, where you stated that you only deleted one video, and then later on you stated again you've only deleted one video. Now there were two deleted videos from your channel. I believe both of them were about calling the quartering out for debate. Is that correct, or am I wrong?
I know what people are talking about now, and this is also another misunderstanding. From my point of view, it's only one video, because what ended up happening is I uploaded from my mobile phone a video calling out the quartering. This was on the way to the store when he makes fun of me saying it's my mom's minivan. I'm just behind my friend's car smoking a joint like a grown adult and going to the store, but never mind, I'm getting emotional. All right. The point is that I uploaded it from my mobile phone. I didn't like it, and at the time, I didn't know why I didn't let people comment. I don't care about disabling ratings. You can make fun of me all you want. When there's a channel that's 10 times bigger coming at me, I will disable ratings, because anyone that's new to the channel or anyone that doesn't know what's going on, they're going to click on my content and they're going to click away because they're going to see like, wow, people hate this guy. They're not going to automatically put all the pieces together, especially considering half of my viewers more than likely were still not around this controversy, or maybe half of them were, but there's still going to be that small percentage of people I didn't want to throw away. So to answer your question, I uploaded one video on the way to the store calling the quartering out. I remember that, I put restricted or made for kids by accident, because I never record myself on my phone and just upload like that. I only did that at the time because of all the controversy. I put made for kids by accident, which prevented people from posting comments, and then I had to re-upload it like 10 minutes later. So I guarantee you, whatever two videos they have downloaded, it's literally the same thing, just me calling them out. And it sounds very familiar because it was the same exact thing, just I had to redo it real quick, that 30 seconds of me calling them out, just so I could enable the comments. And I didn't even know at the time that I put made for kids. So I didn't know that was a thing, that it disables comments, because, it's just different when you upload from your phone versus your computer.
Yeah. Okay, so a couple of things that you stated there, and I think this is the problem a lot of people were having about you and your channel, and you can tell me if I'm wrong here. You can disagree. It's perfectly fine. I'm not trying to say this as an insult.
Of course.
When you put up the video, right, you took that down. You put up another video that also got taken down. So that was two. You posted a video saying that you only deleted one. You got the situation, which, in your own words, you're bannovating. I look, man, I get it. YouTube is not the most user-friendly platform. I understand the whole situation. Like Mumkey Jones got his whole channel taken away with no alert, no reason. Just went and said you're off the platform. So I can understand why you would feel the need to do that. But do you kind of understand why people question your integrity there when you post it, when you have your channel up, you say it's owned by somebody else, it's not, right? You have the Omnia Media thing and you take that out. And to be fair here with your own giveaway, you're saying that you're going to be giving away 50 copies. And just like you said right now, you don't actually have the confirmation of those 10 LE editions, which I think are going to be the big ones that a lot of people are looking for, because, I mean, that's the most expensive copy.
Of course.
So you can understand why people would question your integrity there, right?
No, I completely understand. Out of everything you've said, I think the most I agree with would be the giveaway, because the videos that I deleted, even though in all technicality there were two, but from my point of view, and this wasn't my intention to lie to anyone, from my point of view, I'll still say I only deleted one, because again, I uploaded it, waited literally 10 minutes, realized, oh crap, what's going on with the comments? At the time, I didn't know it was because of the restriction I made on the settings when you put made for kids. And it was, for some reason, I just uploaded it like that by default on my phone. It was the first time I ever did it. So from my point of view, I've only made one reaction video, like, going off, just looking into my phone, but technically there were two. And I didn't even remember until like 5 minutes ago when we brought it up, because you got to keep in mind all the adrenaline rush of essentially getting hundreds of comments every single minute. I mean, when this hate was at its peak, it was a lot. It's died down times 10 now, but
yeah.
So yeah, I agree with the giveaway 100%. The rest, I guess, it's just life and just variables of life. I didn't even remember that I technically deleted too. I just, and then the only reason I deleted it was because I've never made a video like that. I just wanted to get the few thousand views, get the message across to the quartering, and he did. And that's why he replied on his video, and to this day he backed out. Like, I've sent him 2 emails and absolutely no response. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you, because obviously the courting, it doesn't sound like he's going to be debating with you. But to be fair, if you're saying that, I don't think that the quartering directed people to go at your channel. I did watch his video about you in response to you. I think your problem is that he's a large YouTuber. He brings you up, and obviously he's got enough of a fan base that if 1% of his viewers, 1% of his audience decides to go to your channel, that is a lot of people, correct?
Well, that is a lot of people, and I think what's important that people understand, it's one of the first things you said when we jumped on the conversation. The only reason why I even let emotions get to me was because it's not about what you do or what you say. It's about how you do it or how you say it. And even though the technicalities were that he never black and white said this man is guaranteed working for Naughty Dog, and there's no doubt about it, and this is confirmed. Anyone at all that clicked on more than one or two of his videos, that's the impression they were going to get just from the title, just from his confidence. And then if you don't take the time to watch the entire video, then you don't even get to hear the parts where he says that, like, oh, it's not confirmed. Like on the live stream that I recorded where I say exposed, but I don't even really care that much to call it exposing someone. It was just a live stream where he takes everything back. He says, I've never said that this is a for sure thing. And yes, you're technically seeing the truth, the quartering. You never said it was a for sure thing, but how you delivered it, I mean, you sure as hell gave everyone the impression. People still think I said that people who don't buy this game are the devil. So if that doesn't paint a bigger picture of how things are really being twisted, then I don't know what will. Because to this day, I'll say it again, I never once said that people who don't buy The Last of Us Part 2 are the devil. I was emotional because I was passionate about this game, and I would have appreciated people to react differently. It would have been better. We lived in a community where YouTube wasn't the way it was, and people are attacking each other over a video game. It would have been great if whoever wants to get it gets it, whoever doesn't. Make your videos about it. But people took it a step further than that. You couldn't make any video about The Last of Us Part 2. And to this day, you make any video about The Last of Us Part 2, you get a crap ton of dislikes, a crap ton of comments. And that paints a bigger picture of like who's really pushing all this negative energy. And I don't think a lot of it is the community. I think a lot of it is the people handling the community, and it's the YouTubers behind it, in my opinion.
Okay. So, I mean, I think that, actually, can I just ask one thing? Or can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
We got people talking in the chat, and I'm a little bit off focus here. Do you mind if people are talking, if you go and call it out? And we'll go and highlight their comments.
Well, no, yeah, because I was about to say, well, first off, I sent you what Omni Media is on, what do you call it? Discord, in case you need to look at it. But Magic Mesquite, he's got a statement, actually.
Okay. All right. It's 3 by my count. He had one deleted video where he was laughing at Jeremy saying, "This guy thinks I work for Naughty Dog."
That was a YouTube story, not a video.
Okay. So, just for clarification, because we're a small channel, we can't even do mobile uploads because we don't have enough sub counts. So, actually, that's a hell of a transition to do this. Like and subscribe, everybody.
Okay.
Really? All right.
I'm more than likely going to also put this video on my YouTube channel, just a heads up, if that's okay with you guys.
I'm fine with that. Yeah. Now, so it's a YouTube story. Do YouTube stories stay up? Do those get taken down, or was that something you put up and you just took down after the fact?
YouTube story. So the YouTube story, I don't think I deleted that one. I think that one expired. But the thing about YouTube is that it's different from Instagram and Snapchat, whereas it's only 24 hours for those platforms. But for YouTube, it stays for 5 days, and not 5 to 7 days, a week max. But I know guaranteed minimum of 5 days. And that's why on my Instagram, I was so happy. I was like, all this hate's coming, but for the first time ever, I get 50,000 views on a story post. And in the midst of all the hate, I'm getting off topic, my ADHD is kicking in, but I enjoyed it quite a bit, yeah.
John has a statement, but I'll read out this question because Dave Marks had a question earlier.
Yeah, go ahead.
I am super curious about this. It seemed like your friend in the video was saying no. What was that about?
In which video exactly? Or saying no? Was it the video in the car?
Here, I got it highlighted. Yeah, Dave Marks, can you the 1K rule is so dumb. Yes, I agree. Thank you, Dave Marks. Dave Marks, can you clarify this? What do you mean by which video are you referring to? I think that's pretty important to go over. Yeah. And then I think the devil thing is the one a lot of people want to hear about. So you brought that up. So I do want to transition in that here in a little bit. So we'll get ready for it. And actually, to be fair with you, I do have your video pulled up. I want to play the statement just so that there's no miscommunication. Everyone has clarified what was being said. And I will say this, though, before we get into it. I think I understand what you were trying to go for. I think Misery Loves Company is probably the more correct way of saying that. I think that's a pretty fair way of saying it, too. A lot of people, when they are unhappy about something, they want to share how they feel. I do think that you went to a pretty harsh extreme by referring to people. I think we'll go into it. I think that you just went with a very extreme statement there, and I think that's what really drove a lot of the backlash that you were getting to. Okay, so Dave Mark said the car video, the mobile phone. So the one where your friend was saying, do you know what that's?
They were more than likely. I mean, like I said, we were smoking a joint on the way to the smoke shop. So they were just gossiping. I was just trying to get them to shut up. They didn't even know what was going on. That was the first night that I actually told my physical real life friends what was going on for YouTube, and it was because they saw it on my Instagram that they saw themselves in the car. They could hear their own voice. So they were like, "Oh, you did upload something," but no one knew what was going on. I was just on the way to the business, stressed out because I couldn't be in the computer making an actual editing video. And then I wanted to call him out. I wanted to get a reaction from the quartering, and it worked, but it wasn't done in the most professional way. Obviously, I mean, you're in the back. It was way darker. I was way more hydrated, so my face looked a lot younger. And this guy, I looked like a little baby in the back of a car. And here I am just rambling, and no one knows my story. No one knows what I've been doing, what my YouTube channel is. So I get it. I get why people reacted the way they did. And in regards to the devil statement, I think what caught people off guard and pushed them in the wrong direction was that they probably assumed that I was, they probably assumed that I was trying to mix this in with religion and spirituality. Or even if that's not the case, I'm sure a small percentage of people, that bothered them. I'm not religious. I have my own connection with what I consider to be a higher power, and it's not at all related to any church, any religion, or any book, whether it's the Bible or the Quran, which is the Muslim Bible. I literally just, I mean, to this day, I agree with you, Crow, that it does sound very extreme, but with my intention and what was coming from my point of view, and what in my opinion, what's extreme is all these people that are literally just taking time out of their day to post this happens to Joel in The Last of Us Part 2, and completely irrelevant videos, and just bringing other people down. That seems extreme to me. And yes, let's cover the Naughty Dog thing, because I can't criticize the public if I don't bring up why they're mad to begin with.
Well, actually, before we bring up Naughty Dog, because I think that that's something we do need to talk about. But I do have your comment from your video pulled up here. Toy Bounty Hunters did bring up a pretty good statement here, and I think it is important. And I think it's why a lot of things you're doing became very suspect for people, and probably drove even more people to question and criticize you, is this right here. His actions after Jeremy's video, at the very least, seem suspicious to people. You did delete videos. There was the disclaimer being removed from your channel. And I understand what your statement was about that. And you privatized your Instagram. Now, I can find justifications for everything you did there, right? I'm not saying that you don't. You're getting a ton of backlash. You don't want people spamming your Instagram, so you privatized that. You saw the statement that was on your videos, and you decided to remove them. You didn't want Omnia Media being attached to your channel because technically you have the association, but the channel is under your aunt's name. But
I just didn't want my aunt getting calls and stuff, because it's very easy to dox people nowadays. You know how that goes.
But you can understand the culmination of all of that right after Jeremy's video, why that would cause people to really, really start questioning and it does make it seem like you had something to hide there. So I appreciate the fact that you're on here and you're clarifying everything for everyone here. But I got to say, I don't think it was unfair for people to do that. Now, the threat of doxing is very real. So just to be clear with everyone here online, doxing is bad. Do not dox people. I think our chat has been pretty cordial and pretty nice to everybody.
But you see that they're only like that because of your energy, the way you are. You seem like a professional person. Your friend seems like a professional person.
They're here
you
because
know.
Or is being a professional person. I get rowdy too, believe me.
Okay.
I'm here to stop him from being
Yeah,
rowdy.
he's got the leash, man.
I mean, it's pretty funny because I don't want to like derail anything, but I thought it was funny. Like Crow reached out in hostility, and then I go to Instagram. I'm like, "Hello, sir." You know, like
No, like I was upset at the comment. I feel some type of way because that was like the 1,000th hate comment that I've read. But I was like, you know what? Why not? The worst that can happen is I just clear shit up. You know. So here we are.
No. And one thing that I think you have stated is you're okay with criticism, but
Yeah.
you've also stated that. And look, let's be fair here. If you have a channel and one day you wake up because of something you said and there's a bunch of people sending you hate, whether or not you feel it's justified and earned, it's regardless. The fact that people are sending that to you, being in your comments, I understand why you would disable your comments. And first off, it's your channel. You have every right to delete comments from it. You have every right to remove the like to dislike ratio, and people have every right to keep criticizing you for doing that. But again,
Of course.
if you make the statement that I'm okay with criticism, and then you take that action, I would say that you gotta like pick a situation, right? Are you okay with the criticism, no matter how bad it gets, or are you doing it because you want to keep a positive environment on your channel? Which I think is fair to say, but you gotta kind of pick one there.
I mean, to answer that, I guess it's just the nature of the internet. No one knows what anyone's true intention is. So I completely agree with you, and I understand why people reacted the way they did, especially when they click on a video where they can't comment or they can't even give their ratings. They can't give the energy that they wanted to interact with that video, whether it stems from hate, love, or actual curiosity to see what is being said is true or not. I think the turning point for me was, and it wasn't, my intention was not to be hypocritical. If you look at, which I'd be more than happy to take a picture of this, literally go on my community section and I go on the comment section and I have certain filters, certain words that if you type in, the comment just won't be posted. I mean, they all range from the N word to the FAG word to just anything at all. The quartering, I banned the term quartering. And the reason why I did that was because it became pretty obvious that the internet as a community was not capable of actually discerning what is going on. Here I have someone with almost 1 million subscribers. All the videos he made about me combined are about 500,000 views. That's only one channel, Griffin Gaming, both videos almost 250,000 views. Now, I don't know, a few days ago it was less, but at this point I would assume one of them is over 100,000 views. The other one's close to 100,000. So right off the bat, in the midst of all this, all the echoes in the internet, about 1 million people heard the word breakthrough. Even if only a few thousand of them actually came to throw hate, the few thousand that took the time to do that just came to simply show hate. I mean, if you really take a look at all the comments I have on filtered or the ones that haven't been published because of the certain keywords that I put that automatically delete the comments, it is hypocritical. And I'm completely okay with admitting that, because if I'm okay with criticism, it doesn't matter what it is, even if it's the most blatant lie. But I'm not okay with fake criticism. I'm not okay with hate criticism. I'm not okay. Like, if you look at the comments, there's still thousands of them where people are clearly criticizing me. But if they're not telling me to kill myself, and they're not telling me that I'm a painful shield, a word that I just learned about 2-3 weeks ago, if you come at me like you already know what's up, then you have no reason to be on the YouTube channel, because you don't know. Like, you should be coming here for curiosity. But I can't control the internet, so I should have seen that coming. And I can see why people would look at it as hypocritical, and I don't disagree with them. Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to be clear here about something. I don't know the situation with Griffin Gaming, who said what to who first. It seems like both of you have pretty bad taste in each other's mouths. With the quartering, because I was watching that as it was going down. I don't think it was the quartering who named you and went after you or did anything to you specifically to start this. I believe the quartering did a video. In that video, he said something like, defending The Last of Us 2, bold move, right? You saw that video.
Yes,
and
yes.
responded to that video, but that video was not about you, correct? It was about a gaming journalist, to my understanding.
No, yes, yes, and that's something that I should have clarified from the start, or something I should have never even engaged with, because I didn't click on the video. All I saw was a trend of hate for The Last of Us Part Two. All I saw was that out of nowhere, making years and years of videos for this game. Um, the ratio is horrible, bad comments, people criticizing the game, rightfully so in a lot of ways, which I don't mind getting into that and agreeing with a lot of the people that even hated on me. Um, but um, ADHD kicked in. What was the original question? What was I just replying to?
I think mine's kicking up right now too. Um,
Well, Magic Mesquite has kind of a follow up to.
Here, let me highlight it.
Yeah.
Viewers can learn or understand the intentions of their hosts based on how they convey their points and develop serious self-awareness. I mean,
I agree with that. Yeah. I mean,
Now-
like to a certain extent, yeah.
so the thing about me asking you about the quartering specifically, right? You said that you had a lot of his people jumping into your videos. Like I said, if it's even 1% of his channel, he's almost at 800,000 subs, right? That is a lot of people, right? Going into your videos constantly, leaving comments. But to be frank here, right? You did decide to call the quartering out. It was not the other way around. It wasn't a larger channel. Saw you doing positive videos about The Last of Us 2 and said, I'm going to take him down. That wasn't what happened. Now, I will say this, it's really not to Jeremy's credit here. He doesn't let things go, right? You're a smaller channel. You're obviously really not on his radar, but he knows when people talk about him because he's got a bunch of fans that go through YouTube. They'll tell him, hey, this person said this about you. You can understand that he said, you can understand, like, he saw your video criticizing him and he said, okay, let's go ahead and do it to you too. Now he didn't send people to your videos. You didn't send people to his videos. It wasn't anything like that. None of you directed your audience towards each other and gave them sticks and said, go beat the other guy, right? But I will say this, and I think you got to acknowledge it here. Well, I completely agree. Nobody should be dropping into anyone's comments, into anyone's videos and saying, go kill yourself. No one should be, calling you, FHE or anything like that. I don't think it's really called for. Like, at the end of the day, it's a damn video game. As passionately as you feel about a video game, as passionately as people feel about the Star Wars franchise, right? You should not, like, it's a difference of opinion. We can all be bigger people and get over this sort of thing, right? But
No, I agree. Sorry, I'm not sure if you were done or not, but just want to say that I agree with what you said in terms of me calling out the quartering. I wouldn't say it would be, well, yeah, it is. Technically, it is a call out, even though I didn't really go into details or it was a segment of the entire video, and I used the quartering as an example of the things that I didn't like. So I may very well had asked for it directly to him. Hey, come make a video insulting me. So I agree with you. I did start the name calling, and that's something that I actually apologize to people. And I don't know if it's still on YouTube or not. I'm 90% sure it is, and I'll go back into whatever video I need to look into, where for a few seconds I said that I never actually clicked on the quarterings video. What I was reacting to what I was seeing as a consensus, as a general consensus. Like, here we have a big YouTube channel saying that anybody who buys this game on their title or supports this game is doing something courageous, in a sarcastic way. And I let that get to me, because if I actually paid attention to the video, I would have had a more informed opinion about the quartering. I didn't even know who the quartering was. And then, so I make a comment about the quartering, time passes by, and then out of nowhere, I see the quartering replies. I didn't have a problem with his response. And I welcomed it, because at the end of the day, all publicity is good publicity. I mean, I've gained just as many subscribers that I've lost. That's the only reason I've been in 57.9 for like 3 weeks now. But the point is that yeah, I get it. I started it, but the level in which this man took it, I mean, coming up with conspiracies about my aunt, I mean, I get it. I get it. Especially, look, The Last of Us Part 2, full-blown channel, people out of nowhere are starting to see videos, and this curve, this trend of constant of hate to this game for good reasons, for neutral, and for reasons that I don't agree. So I get it. I get it. When you get slapped with all that information at once, you're gonna assume, and it's okay. It's okay. So I get it. That's I guess the general answer to this whole interview slash debate is I get it.
Okay. I think you've been very reasonable. I'll be frank with you. When I saw your response to me in your comments where you said you're going to destroy me for anything, I was like, okay, you sound incredibly cocky, and I wasn't sure that you really understood why people were upset. And it does seem like you do. So I will say a lot of appreciation to you, because I know that there are people when they're being criticized. I'm trying to find a nice way of putting it. Like they don't understand why, and rather than acknowledging the criticism, they will quintuple down on why they're actually correct. So you don't seem to be doing that. So, fair points to you there. Now, TBH says it is a video that you did delete. It was one of the ones in which you were challenging the quartering. Now, I gotta say this, man. It's YouTube. You know, the call out culture and everything like that. If you make a video and you call out another YouTuber and you didn't actually watch the video, I mean, you open the doors for yourself. You acknowledge you did. So I will say this: the quartering isn't responding to you to do this debate with you. But let me just ask: I got to know this. Do you really want to do a debate with the quartering?
Oh, in a heartbeat, I'd destroy him. I'd make him look like a complete, utter moron that just went out of his way to connect all of these things and essentially channeled hundreds of thousands of people's energies and harvested it into something that was completely false to begin with.
Okay. Now, the reason why I'm asking you that is not because I'm not saying that you wouldn't do good in a debate. I personally, I don't know what you'd be debating him on 100%. Maybe the game itself, maybe what you stated, but you've acknowledged that a lot of things that you did were wrong, right? And you said a lot of things he's done is wrong too. So I'm not entirely sure. Why would you want that debate with the quartering when you've said it was a lot of negativity being drawn onto your channel? It doesn't seem like it's helped you out at all. It seems like it was a major distraction. And one thing that I think is really important for people, when any YouTuber, like even as small as our channel is, it's that engagement that you have with your audience. If you're having to disable your comments because of what's happening, not saying, but like delete comments, do auto deletes for certain words being used, disabling the like to dislike ratio, I have to, I got to know this. Why would you want more of that on your channel?
Yeah.
I, honest to God, think that if he had actually gone through with the debate, it would have gone a lot more professional, and it would have not been as violent or as verbal as most people would assume it would go. The main reason why I would still go through with the debate is just for the simple fact that this man's confidence needs to be stopped. And the way I look at all the exposed videos that people have made about him in the past, it's always the same principle. It's always just giving people an image, painting a certain image that right before people even clicked on his videos, they were already going to send me hate. These are people that are already ready to just lash onto whatever emotion they can lash onto, just for the sake of getting a quick internet boner from it, So I know for my fans it's not fair. So I'm glad. In a way, I'm glad that he didn't respond to it. But at the same time, from a logical and even emotional, because it's partially pride as well. I would have loved to destroy him, because I would have literally dissected what I just dissected of you guys, but times 5 with this man, and I would have just gone example after example after example to the point that he would literally have to shut down his live stream. I would literally make his own fans feel like fools for taking the initiative that they did, which they have every right to do that. But the same way that they did that, I would have had the right to counteract everything, and doesn't matter how much hate I get during the live stream, I would have minimized this hate by a good 70-80%, and then I would have made them feel like fools.
I gotta break this down with you really quick here. Caleb put the civil. You did call the guy a pussy. I'm just saying, you have to understand. You could come up with the absolute best point against the quartering. You could demolish his talking point. But all people are going to see when you come onto a stream is, hey, here's the guy who called the community toxic in his video title. Hey, here's the guy who called the quartering psychotic. You called him a retard. You called him a pussy. Like, you need to understand, man. You could
the
have
power of those words. Yes.
Well, it's not so much that it's the fact that you think that you could go on to a debate with him, and his fans are going to see you make these legitimate points, right? And they're going to just side with you. I don't think so. I think they're going to see you and they're going to say, "Here's the asshole." I'm not trying to be rude here.
No, of course,
Right?
of course.
I told you we're not going to insult each other here.
No,
I
of
think,
course. No, I understand.
but
Words were fair game.
in their heads, they're going to say, "Here is the asshole who has insulted us as a whole." Right? We're his fans. He insulted all of us for being his fans, for liking the video that he did. Right? You have to understand, if you went on to that debate with him, and maybe you disagree entirely here, but you could go through every single one of his points, you completely demolish it, that his fans would be in the chat there and they would be nonstop trolling you, insulting you. Maybe they'd even go and insult your aunt. And I don't think that that's fair. Maybe you disagree that that wouldn't happen, but I don't think that you would make any headway there based on the approach you took. Now, the reason why I'm specifically bringing that up, when I left my comment for you, you told me that I need to be cordial towards you. Do you really think that you're being cordial towards the courting and requesting the debate that you did with him?
Oh no, not at all. But I think that line was already crossed. And in my honest opinion, the first time I ever talked about the quartering, it wasn't in a violent way. It wasn't in a hateful way. It was in a way where I wasn't even directly. If you look at the video, it's not that hard to tell that I'm not here single-handedly calling out the quartering. I was looking more at this general consensus of how everyone's handling this whole wave of hate. But I did call him out by word. So technicalities, yes, I did call him out. And from the start, that was my downfall. That was my downfall. I called a man out that opened a gate, and now I had to deal with that gate that was opened, even though if all it was
Well,
was.
I will say this: you wanted to use him as an example, like you said. Your video is titled here, because this is the one where the double comments made. I've had it ready to go. Don't worry. But the video is titled "The Last of Us 2: Great News, Leaks and Toxic Community Confirmed."
I can explain that. I can explain why I put the title. You're gonna laugh, Bill. You're gonna laugh.
You have to understand, though, if your point is, well, I wasn't really talking about the quartering, I was talking about the community. Well, let's be honest here. That means that you were insulting a much larger group than just the quartering.
And believe it or not, I think that would have actually been much better, because the thing about insulting a larger group than just a fan base is that we have a fan base versus people that are just confused, trying to clarify their way into not feeling the way they feel. I'm not saying that everybody that hates Last of Us Part 2 is confused. Let me rephrase that. If I'm not attacking, but debating, I guess is a better word, like we're doing. I'm debating a fan base versus an entire population of people that are just disappointed because of all these some rumors, because people thought that Joel and Ellie died in The Last of Us Part 2 for like a good 2 weeks straight. That was the #1 comment, at least on my channel. And I'm like, wherever this is coming from, it's stemming from a place of ignorance, because when you really look at what's happening, yes, it sucks, but look at how badly it's being twisted in so many different directions. And to answer your question, if I'm going after a fan base that's more of a cult are way more attached to their deity, they're the people that they look up to, in this case the quartering. If I go after a population, then I feel like it would have been much more reasonable. If I was just here targeting people in general that are handling this the wrong way, a lot of them would get offended, but it would have never been the type of being offended where you're just going to people just for the sake of trolling and hating on somebody, which that usually comes from specific fan bases. It's like one castle, shooting arrows at the other tower, and the arrows are the subscribers. And there's a huge difference between that scenario and literally just announcing to the world how I feel, and then letting people have a new point of view in their brains that they didn't have before. I'm not sure if that made complete sense, but I tried to make it make sense.
I think that you could probably tone the language down a little bit by calling them a cult, because I'll highlight this comment. I want to highlight a couple of the comments, not all of them directed at you, of course. Magic Mosquito says large channels will always have a rogue group that will do whatever they want. Just look at K-pop stands. Yeah. They're okay. They might be a little bit of a cult. There are a large number of toxic individuals in that group. I mean, like I said, if even 1% is acting the way that you're describing, I mean, it's not the quartering, man. It isn't. And someone, I think someone I think may have been John, but they pointed out that the Courting did do a video recently in which he asked his fans not to dogpile on people, not to go to their videos, not to harass them. So it seems more like what you were trying to do, and Kayla said it here. You were trying to debate an opinion, which I think is always going to be a losing battle because people are going to have a difference of opinion on these things. Now, you did say something I found pretty interesting, and it was essentially that a lot of people thought that Joel's going to die, and Ellie is also going to die. Now, this is something that came out in the leaks, right? The leaks, which I do want to address the stuff that Naughty Dog did. We have to acknowledge these leaks did come out, and in those leaks, we were told, right? And I know that you stated it's only 2 hours of the game, but they're pretty big highlights here. That Joel is going to have his head beaten in with a golf club by a new character who's not who doesn't appear in any way in the original game. Halfway through that game, you will take over playing that character, which a lot of people have stated that if you watch the trailer that was released, the gameplay trailer, it does look like it shifts you into that character's perspective for a little bit.
No, and it does. It does. I have the picture of literally the entire campaign from start to finish.
Okay.
But keep going.
Yeah. The final thing I want to say was it also states that you will finish that game playing that character and you will murder Ellie. And I understand what the goal of doing that is, to show that it's a very gray world, that nobody is a hero. We live in a zombie apocalypse society, basically. But
you do know that Ellie ends up killing Abby, right?
Well, so the leaks that came out that people have stated, and I could be wrong here, right, is that you will play as Abby and you will kill Ellie. That's what's been leaked. That's what's been coming out. That's what people are getting so upset about, right? Now, I want to clarify one thing, because there was an Instagram post that you made that I think is kind of important here. But people are going to hear that and they're going to have the visceral reaction of, I don't want to play this game, right? Because the Last of Us,
I understand, yeah.
As entertaining as the gaming world of The Last of Us is, as entertaining of creatures as the clickers are, the humans in that world, how they're terrible, how they're all kind of awful. It's a character-driven game. It really is. So when you
it really is, yeah.
When you hear that the characters that you love from the first game, and I think a lot of people grew to love Joel and Ellie, that they are going to be killed, and specifically they're going to be killed in some not so nice way,
not so polite way. Yeah.
You can understand why people were reacting the way that they were reacting, right?
No, I completely understand. Just one thing I want to clarify.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was never actually confirmed that you play as Abby for half the game. It is 3 levels, but we don't know how long those levels are. Okay. And you can see that in the list of chapters. And I highly doubt that someone that knows that people are going to be sad because we lose one of our beloved characters would even propose the idea of having half this entire game that has been developed for so long. So I don't think we play as Abby for that long. And I think that people were exaggerating when they say that it's half the game, just because you see 3 separate stages of playing as Abby. Mm-hmm. And then if you pay attention, and now I'm gonna have to put spoilers in the title from now on, because we're gonna talk about some serious shit. If you pay attention to the latest trailer.
Sorry, I do want to interrupt you really quick here.
Yeah.
Because I think this is important for the insight that you're going to give us about the game. You've stated, right, in one of your Instagram posts, I believe is where it was, that you have an insider at Naughty Dog that's confirmed some details about this game to you. Is that correct?
I don't know if he's actually an insider, but for the past 3 months, I've had about 4 or 5 individuals, 2 of which are really, really serious, because before any of these leaks actually even got leaked, just by mid-April, I already had the first week of April, I already had the entire chapter list. And that's something that I can literally show you when you click and right-click properties and then look at the screenshot when it was taken. So okay. I don't know if he was an insider, and that's, again, something I should have never used that term. But clearly I did it because I knew it was a term that was well recognized, so it would get more views. I can't deny that. But
I'm not going to criticize you at all for doing things to get you views. Look, it's the nature of this platform. I think it's why you use those terms you did about the quartering, and I think it's why the quartering uses the majority of the terms he does in his videos. Clickbait is a thing, and unfortunately, the platform rewards you for clickbaiting. So don't
It's just
worry.
crazy to think about that, right?
For it. Yeah, I mean, it's where your eyes are going to focus. Now, if we said a man walked down the street to take his dog to the park, right? We would all say, okay, whatever. And now let's try this headline. A man dragged his dog by a leash, pulling him towards the park.
No, yeah, that's good. I get it. It's the hype, the emotion.
Yeah.
So, and it's funny you say that because if the quartering would have taken a different approach with his titles and thumbnails, he would have probably gotten a quarter of the views. Quarter, no pun intended. And the same thing goes for me. If I would have not put the title, calling him a pussy, I would have probably gotten half the views. And I have no problem denying that. I think at the end of the day, the main thing that I was trying to get my point across with going on this debate with you guys, it's just the fact that what was actually being thrown was not true, and that's what I wanted to clarify. But in terms of my malpractice with calling him out, in terms of me being hypocritical with some things such as clickbait, I have no problem accepting those things and saying it, out in the open. I've clickbaited plenty of times in the past. Now I've tried to not clickbait at all the past year of The Last of Us Part 2, because I promised, and there's one video that's private now, but 2017, April 2017, I made a video because I was getting quite a bit of hate. I made 2 videos that got like 500,000 views. They're both private, and it was clickbait. And ever since that, I promised my fans I wasn't going to do it. So I've tried to minimize it as much as possible.
I mean, like, also it all depends on wording too, because I'm just going to chime in real quick. Yeah. So, for example, if you were to title it "Quartering is a Coward," I think you would have directed less negative energy towards the whole pussy comment. Just saying, because we've done the clickbait thing. What is it, Broly Exposed, Crow? Remember that?
Yeah, that was fun.
So
he's a friend of ours, so it was meant as a joke.
It's extra fun. It's extra fun. Okay. But I think Crow understands the game. I get the game. Everyone gets the game of clickbait, but it's all like in presentation of clickbait that matters. And I want to ask a quick scenario real quick. So Crow, you can chime in on this too. But like, do you like Jack and Daxter? Because I'm a big fan of Naughty Dog.
Yeah. Jack and Dexter, I've played it a few times. I wouldn't say I'm a fan where I got it and I went to GameStop when I was way younger and played it, but I played it. I played it just because it's from Naughty Dog and I've been surrounded by it.
Yeah.
So I like it.
Yeah. So like, it's like they revamped it. They're bringing like, I don't know, like official Jack 4, Jack 5, whatever. And you're playing as Jack, and then all of a sudden, Jack gets his brains blown out, and Daxter gets curb stomped by this guy named Marvin, right? So like it's fair for the audience to react that way, right?
I get it, and that's something that I'm glad that we're now talking about Naughty Dog. And for anyone watching this on my channel or this channel, there's going to be spoilers inevitably, so you could click out now if you don't want to know more than what we've already exposed. It sucks that happens to our beloved character, and just for technicalities, not even because of spoilers or not, or trying to spoil it or ruin it for people or not, I'm not going to say the actual name of that character, just because I don't want this video to get taken down. Who knows, Naughty Dog may very well strike me again. I have 1 strike, so that's not enough proof I don't work for Naughty Dog. But it sucks. It sucks that happens, but at the end of the day, I have been saying that Joel dies since 2016, November 2016. I have at least 7 videos on my channel literally telling everybody Joel's going to die in The Last of Us Part 2. It was so easy. Everybody could have seen it coming. Neil Druckmann said it when he first revealed this game. There was a fan that came up to him on stage and told him, like, hey, well, so what happens to Joel? Why do we get the vibe that he's a ghost in that first reveal trailer? And that was all purposely done to prepare you for the ultimate demise that happens to him. So this has been pre-planned for so freaking long, and I could have seen it coming. Neil Druckmann, December 2016, it was either that or at the Paris Games Week conference, PSX, I believe it was when it happened. But there was a fan that specifically asked him, so where's Joel? Is Joel dead? And he literally replied saying, at what point in the game? You see, no one is safe in The Last of Us Part 2. A lot of characters do die. So it's not about if, but when. He literally said that, and ever since he said that, I've prepared so many people for this, that when it finally comes and when it finally happens, and I don't blame anybody at all for taking the position that they took. They're not me. They haven't been making videos on this for years. They don't have the same lens of perspective that I have. But long story short, when it finally happens, and I see so many people twisting it, so many people taking it way out of context. First of all, I to this day I still don't know where the whole Ellie dying started, because if you actually look at the leaks, like there's no actual proof of Ellie dying. And if you pay attention to the story trailer that we just got last week, you can literally say you can see Abby on the floor just through her voice saying, "We could have killed you." And then the same bat that was used on Joel, Ellie goes like that, and that's when the story trailer ends. That was Neil Druckmann's way of saying, "Hey, F you guys for assuming all this crap. When this game comes out, there's a reason why all these bad things happen to Joel." And it's
Actually, yeah, I will say this because Kayla highlights it here, and I want your opinion on this. It has nothing to do with him dying. People can easily guess he would die. Actually, I stated that it makes sense for him to die. He's about 60 or 70 years old at the point of The Last of Us 2. He's really fucked up from the first game.
Yes.
The idea that he's going to be able to pull that same shit off in the second one, it actually makes it makes sense for him to pass on. And I think it's like I said here, but the people probably thought you'd play as Ellie and not some random new character. And I think that's the sticking point for a lot of folks is they don't care about Abby, right? And they want to see Ellie's story continue. They understand Joel's old. They think he will die. I mean, it's a classic. It is a classic story beat in the hero's journey where your mentor dies, right? I mean, again, Star Wars, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes.
It happens, right? But then that death. I mean, it's the way that they talk about him dying, right? It's a little disgusting, and maybe that's the point to piss you off, right? But if you're going to do that to us, right? If you're going to piss people off, and then you're going to put us in the shoes of that murderer, it becomes even harder to relate to that character that you are trying to get us to relate to, because the only thing that you're going to be thinking is this bitch just killed Joel with the golf club or baseball.
I know, and I know how it looks. I know how it seems. I know why people feel the way they do. But also, fun fact: Abby is new, but Abby's actually connected to one of the doctors from the hospital in The Last of Us Part One. It was, I believe, his daughter, or it was a family relative. So, you know how in The Last of Us Part Two, Neil Druckmann, if you didn't know, Neil Druckmann has stated that The Last of Us Part One and The Last of Us Part Two are parallel. So even though The Last of Us Part Two is in the future, we get so many time jumps that we're before The Last of Us Part One, during The Last of Us Part One, and after The Last of Us Part One. I forgot what my main point was, but what I'm trying to say is that it sucks. It fucking sucks, you know. And even if we could have seen it coming, Joel dying the way that he dies, it sucks. But at the same time, do you really know how he dies? Do you know what battle happened before he gets hit with that glow stick? Do you know the entire upbringing that took us to that final decision where Neil Druckmann said, "Hey, we're gonna have to kill him this way"? There's so many things that could, you know, even though it might not seem like it at all now, when the game comes out, we may very well see a new perspective and realize, okay, shit, I get why it had to happen. And there's so many variables to a game that's saying, you know, because that bad thing happened to him, look at all the rumors that came out of that. For example, there was never anything about Ellie dying. There was never anything about you actually playing for half of the game as Abby. It's 3 levels, and some levels, The Last was Part 1, last a few minutes. Maybe it will be 1 hour out of the 30 confirmed hours that we have The Last was Part 2. So I understand everyone's opinion. I understand everyone's perspective. But when they're going to take it to the extreme in which all these YouTubers did, and I mean, I hate to keep pointing the finger at the Quartering, but the Quartering is a perfect example of essentially just generalizing an entire game, getting hundreds of thousands of people to have a certain image of a game without giving it the fair credit where it's due. We can't really judge something until we have the entire thing. We can say we don't like it, but our reasons for not liking it won't even be complete because we don't actually even know what's happening to its entirety. And that's the only problem.
I had to bring something up because what you just said, it reminded me. In one of the Quartering's videos that he did about this, right? He used a very clickbait title. It was something like Last of Us 2 or Naughty Dog caught thousands of fake reviews or something like that, right? And you responded and you said, well, these aren't fake reviews. These are people that you pre-order the game. You're allowed to drop a review. And I believe you yourself stated, if you pre-order the game, what kind of review do you think you're going to get for it? So let me ask, right? Yes, they are being very negative based on the information they've been given, right? but you have the exact opposite happening as well. And Naughty Dog, Sony, they are both dependent. Well, I wouldn't say dependent, but they definitely push for people to promote this game by dropping 5-star reviews when they know nothing about the game. So is it?
So it's a double-edged sword. No, I completely I agree with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
And yeah, go ahead.
Oh, pardon. So, quick, John made a statement. I thought it was interesting, and I would like your opinion on this breakthrough.
Yeah.
Do you think one of the biggest reasons why people are so upset too is not only does Joel and Ellie or the deaths in general, right? Is it because there's a character that just randomly shows up with no establishment that just offs them and just takes the place of who you
Oh no,
know?
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I
No,
actually want to build on that point here because you already stated she has a connection to the first Last of Us game.
Mhm.
But I mean, in no way is it implied when you are.
True. True.
Because I was playing through that final level, right? In no way is it ever implied that those doctors have children or family members or anything like that. I see them cowering in the corner. And I
Of
think you
course.
could easily. I think that this whole thing could have easily been done had Abby actually been planned at the time of the original Last of Us, because most of these game companies, they plan out there's going to be a sequel or something. Had they had some sort of line of dialogue right
Oh
before
yeah,
you
but
shoot
they
the
didn't.
doctor.
They didn't. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
Neil
or
Druckmann, he wasn't even sure if he was making a second part. So I do agree with that.
Yeah,
or some form of DLC possibly.
Yeah, something that would have implied that you were about to kill someone's family member. No, actually, I think there's a line from Joel in the first game in which he says, "Everyone has a family," right? I can't remember when that takes place, but like these people get killed, and Ellie goes, "Do you wonder if they have family?" And he goes, "Everyone has a family. Best not to think about it." So
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the problem with Abby's character, I do want your opinion on the physique thing because I know that's a big sticking point for people.
Ma'am.
The ma'am means. But I want your opinion on this. Do you not understand why people are looking at it and they're like, you're pigeonholing this character who really is not connected to the first game at all, right? You are trying to force us to understand this character's motivations. But, it's a 30-hour plus game. I get that. I understand there's going to be some build up to Joel's death. But again, how are we supposed to relate to this character who really is not connected to the first game other than what they are kind of, I don't know if you want to call it a retcon, but sort of like slipping that, off the back of the first one. And she's going to kill Joel. I mean, we all grew to love Joel. Like we all did, right? The first moments of The Last of Us, right? Where I mean, yeah, where the military dude shoots his daughter, right? It breaks you. You barely know the guy, and it breaks you. You understand why he is so angry. You understand why.
So imagine someone you actually know. Yeah.
Yeah. So then try to turn around and say, okay, well, now we want you to understand why she did it. I find that so unreasonable to do to your audience, and it's just going to make people hate that character even more. I imagine when that game comes out, there's going to be a level where you play as Abby, like you said, as short as it is, and I imagine there's going to be someone who does a supercut where they just suicide Abby repeatedly over and over and over again.
That's a great idea. That's going to be my first million views for The Last of Us Part 2. Just have a clip of beating the crap on replay. I get it. And I guess to paint to get people to understand why I'm even still getting this game and why I'm supporting this game, it's because it looks like we came to the same conclusion, even if it might not seem like it. It looks like we're on the same page. I agree that the same way that all these people took it to an extreme of hate, we also have the fans and we have Naughty Dog who they're gonna have to support this game, and it's unfair for them to push towards the idea of like, it doesn't matter what you've heard or what you've seen, or it doesn't matter at all what you saw, or it doesn't matter you saw the whole entire game in terms of levels, not through experience, but that little screenshot where it shows you all the chapters. It doesn't matter that you saw that. This is nothing at all how the actual game is. And that's not fair, because you're going to the opposite of like, hey, you have nothing to worry about, everything you saw, discredit that. And Naughty Dog is painting this picture like the leaks have absolutely no value. So I agree that both extremes. I'm just in the middle. I'm just covering videos on this game, and as a consumer, I'll tell myself day in and day out that, I've been making videos on this game for so long. Why not finish it? It would be foolish for me to go back on it just because of what I've seen and what I've heard and people's opinions. That doesn't justify at all everything that Naughty Dog did. I mean, they took down one of my videos just because I showed one single screenshot leaked. But I dare them to take down this video. I'll sue their ass. I could be a rat's ass. That like there's no content. There's nothing leaked about it. We're talking about it. You can't blame us for what you let happen.
Well,
So
and going on to what Naughty Dog has actually done here, and my thing with Naughty Dog, and it's something that's really, I think, made me. Listening to you, right? I think you could convince me to want to play this game, right? You could tell me all the serious points, and I could say, you know what, I did cancel my pre-order, but maybe I'll still give it a shot. But the one thing that I would say really makes me not want to support this game in any way, shape, or form is the way Naughty Dog has responded to the leaks.
yes, yes,
You got people making memes about this game, like the
yes,
ma'am memes,
yes.
like
The ma'am of us.
yeah, or I think someone did the
Golf
arm.
edition.
They oh yeah. But Geeks and Gamers, right? They
Yes.
did a video about The Last of Us 2, just talking about it, and they had a DMCA strike. Like, this is DMCA's. If you make a false DMCA strike on a channel, that's illegal. Like, you have no legal basis to do something like that. And they hit everybody. Pimp Master Broda on Twitter. I don't know if you know who he is. He's the guy with the little Yoda hand puppet.
It sounds familiar. If I see an image of him, I'll probably click.
Okay. He posted a photo of himself in front of the mirror and superimposed Abby's face onto it, and that image got taken down by Naughty Dog.
What? That's actually pretty sad. Like, that's fun. It's fucked up. But that's funny that Naughty Dog really did that. I mean, it's like someone in the back's just like straight gangster. I have a great position, very higher up on Naughty Dog. I'm in charge of this copyright. Fuck this guy.
That fucking
it's
video
funny,
out
but
of
it's
here.
fucked up. It's fucked up that that's actually happening. I did not know that at all. I don't even use Twitter. So people say.
I do want to get your opinion on this, because I haven't watched the recent video that you've done, but have you done any video in which you have spoken about Naughty Dog's reaction to the fan base, Naughty Dog's false copyright strikes, and Naughty Dog's fake DMCA claims against channels? Because right now there are two YouTubers who said, we don't care that after 2 or so weeks, Naughty Dog finally got rid of the DMCA, or YouTube finally got rid of it. We're suing Naughty Dog because we're pissed off that they thought that they could do this to us. So
I haven't made a separate standalone video clarifying all of this, which is what I'm about halfway done with that video, where I cover all the Naughty Dog's controversy, my opinion, why I'm still covering the game, trying to, what we're doing here in this entire debate, but conveying that into a 5 to 10 minute video. So I'm halfway done with that one. The only thing I've done is announce it. I've announced that I'm going to be covering all the controversy, and I made, I believe, on 1 or 2 of my videos, comments about how, Naughty Dog did, in fact, do multiple things wrong, such as the copyright, but I don't go into it at all. I've just been building that momentum for the video that I'm working on now.
okay, I think that you should look into some of the channels that they did target, because it's one thing for them to, like, I saw, like, you said that there are people who are just hardcore going to be against this game with no real context. They're going to have barely half of the information. I will say this: I've seen people do the exact opposite too, where people defending false DMCA takedowns and saying, well, it's Naughty Dog's right, you can't be talking about this game. I'm like, if I did a video kind of like yours, right, in which I said the positives of this game and why I'm so excited for this game, and they left that up, I would say, well,
biased. They're being biased. Yes. Yeah. And it's a shame that it's happening, because, I mean, look at all the greatness that Naughty Dog has made. And it's a shame that they stooped to that level.
And I want to be clear here. When do you watch Star Wars at all? Because I'm a
yeah. Okay. I do. I watch a lot of the cartoons. I've seen about half of all the movies.
Clone Wars, right? Okay.
Yes.
All right, perfect. The final season was great. The last 4 episodes were amazing.
Focus.
Okay, I will. Hold on. Final point I want to just make here on this. When The Rise of Skywalker leaked, right? The entire movie leaked, right? We knew everything that was going to happen. Disney did not target the channels talking about those leaks. Disney is a massive company. If anyone can abuse that system, Disney would be able to abuse that system.
No, yeah, and that's surprising considering the people that run Disney. I mean, they're not to get into conspiracies, but I mean, it's just a bunch of Freemasons.
Well, okay. Good. Don't do that. We'll take our channel down. I'll highlight that in just a second.
Yeah.
So one thing I just want your opinion on this. Do you not think that had Naughty Dog not responded the way that they did, that this controversy would have just died down? That people would have said, oh, look at this. Naughty Dog never responds to it, never acknowledges it, never makes a statement that they're disappointed, never does these false. It basically handled.
Yeah, because by them doing that, they gave their power away. By them even just reacting and doing what they did, they gave their power away to the community. And I mean, not that there's anything wrong with giving the power away to the community, but it was a foolish move for you to go ahead and just target individuals that are reacting to a game that is behind. I mean, financially, I get it, why it would stress you out, the idea of not getting to the sales that you had in mind, not meeting that quota. So I get the stress, I get the anxiety, I get why they did it, but I don't agree with it because they stooped to a level that continue to just it cost all this hate to linger at least times 2, times 3. I don't say it would have been completely eradicated and just there would have been no hate at all by for example, today there would be no hate on the internet if they had taken a different approach. I don't think that could ever happen, just because from the second that some people found out that Ellie was gay, there was already memes. I've been seeing memes about this game for literally 4 years, but now it's on a whole new level. So you're right in that sense. I think it sucks that they did it because they had the cards in their hands. All they had to do was just take out anybody that actually posts the leaked gameplay and just let people have their right to free speech. But they did not do that, and now they're getting sued.
Well, and I think it's Toy Bounty Hunter said. I want to talk about the comment from Dave Marks as well. But Toy Bounty Hunter just said it. They validated the leaks. They did. The things that people are talking about, when people make a video, and in that video they state something like Ellie gets killed by Abby. Now, you stated that doesn't happen, all right? And I've been questioning why the hell you would do that. But when they strike a video in which someone says that,
it's going to make it seem like it's true, No,
exactly. No. It validates a lot of the things people are talking about. People say, hey, you're going to play half the game as Abby, and she's going to brutally murder Joel with a golf club. And then you turn around and you say, take that video down. I would look at it and I would say, oh my fucking God. That's
by them doing damage control, they're creating more damage.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you remember the Pokemon leaks, Crow?
Yeah, I remember the Pokemon leaks.
What a fiasco that shit was.
Yeah, we had a little channel and we stopped it because of the whole COPPA thing, and we didn't really grow it up. We just
there was so much controversy around those laws that they introduced. Oh yeah.
But when the game launched, people were sharing leaks from the game, right? Like advanced pre-order copies and stuff like that. And like images of the Pokemon come out and people immediately go, oh, that's fake, right? I don't believe that, because you got so many, right? People look in and go, I don't think that's real. That's clearly somebody made that. And you have entire communities dedicated to making these fake Pokemon, right? So what happened was Nintendo turned around and struck the damn channels down. And then people said, oh my God, these are real. Once you turn around as a company and you say, hey, I'm gonna take that down. If you're taking it down, like if you're
giving it all the attention that it wasn't getting, now you're adding more attention to it.
And then there are more people talking about it because it doesn't die on the internet. And I think it's one thing these companies don't understand. Once it's out there, once it's online, it's done. If you acknowledge it, if you legitimize it by attacking it, then people think you have something to hide, and oh my God, it's legit. It's like I said, when Rise of Skywalker leaks hit, and I read through those leaks, Disney never responds to any of it, and even the channels reporting it were saying, hey, this is totally not confirmed. They're saying, hey, I don't like this, but it's not confirmed, right? And so Disney never responds, and people still
why they did that. How stupid what was going on through Neil Druckmann's head to think that was the right thing? I don't get it. That's the one thing that I have nothing at all to paint another perspective on. We could sit here and talk about the quartering or the game or the technicalities of what's confirmed or not or how long the game is. But that's one thing that I can't counteract that in any way because it's just a shitty thing that they did, and it still surprises me. I mean, when you told me how serious it was on Twitter, I've never used Twitter in my life. I had it, and I never even used it, so I just shut that down.
We were actually trying to tag your Twitter handle, like
Oh yes, oh yes.
try to tag it so we could get in touch with you too. Dave Marks brings up a pretty good point here. Also, I still don't buy the idea that Naughty Dog got hacked, but even if they did, how is that better? That doesn't foster trust in the consumer to connect to online Naughty Dog servers. And I think it's 2 points here that are really important to make. The first one is if they did get hacked, right? I would never want to use their online service if it was that easy to hack their servers and find these leaks of the game. But that's why I really don't believe that that's actually what happened. You know, we've heard for years, right? I'm sure you know Jason Schreier of Kotaku, or formerly of Kotaku. Yeah. He did a whole expose. We had people that worked at Naughty Dog stating that they were so overworked that their coworkers went to the hospital, right? And they're saying like we're not being paid overtime. You know, crunch is a thing in these gaming companies, but Naughty Dog especially. Right, I understand you want to get out the best game that you can, but you know this game is going to even with everything that's happened here. Right, I'm not someone who's going to say, "Well, this game's done. It's being taken down." Oh yeah, we destroyed. Like I'm not one of those people. Right, I do think that there's been some damage done. Right, I don't know the exact percentage. I think there's been a little bit, but
I want to say we lost a good 20-25% of all the people that were actually going to buy this crap.
Yeah, I think that the game is still out there and it's positive. It's like you stated. You know, it's only a few levels as Abby. It's not that much of the runtime. Ellie does survive, right? And you are the one who gets to kill you wind up killing Abby. Yeah. I think that will mend a lot of things, and you know, you'll see the revenue get generated there that was lost.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's also like we were talking about earlier, like the presentation of how you respond. You know, like. I think if Naughty Dog would have responded with something like, you know, yeah, these leaks are one thing, but like, we hope you have faith in our storytelling, or like, you know, we don't think it'll disappoint you as disappointed as you are now, instead of just like striking people who criticized it or trying to shut them down because it was such a negative fashion.
Yeah, and you know, I still think that there will be this game is going to do well, right? So we're talking about a game that's going to sell millions of copies. And I understand that there's a lot of cost going into this game, but you really going to try to tell me or tell anybody that you do not have the money to pay people overtime, that you do not have the money to just hire more staff so that you don't have to put this insane crunch on people. Like that's the thing that really pisses me off about Naughty Dog in this entire scenario. Yeah, I mean the leaks are stupid, right? They are. I don't think it's right to leak an entire game because it in some ways it does invalidate a lot of the work that the people had to put into it. But at the same time, I see
whoever leaked it really hated the game. Whoever leaked it really hated Naughty Dog or had something against them because they purposely, you know, went straight to the main like.
They knew exactly what to say to the community to piss them off. That's 100% correct. So that's why I say I don't think it was a random hacker who just said, "Oh, I'm gonna find this game and I'm only gonna selectively leak the worst parts about it to the community." I mean, if it was a random hacker and he wanted to leak the game, he'd give you everything, right? He ain't gonna care. He's gonna tell you everything that happens.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, that would have been lovely if I could have the files right now. I'd be making videos in the background.
This is somebody who was very upset with that company, and we know what we've heard about this company, what we've heard about what they do to their workers. It's honestly, it's really disgusting. And I know you stated that you're okay criticizing Naughty Dog. Someone did leave a comment here, and I think that this is fair. You tell me if it's not. Funny how in this discussion, BT and BU actually sounds unbiased, unlike in his videos. I think that's fair. You know, I do understand your channel is largely about.
Oh yeah, no, it's true. You know, I have to keep people happy. I have to keep them excited for the game. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a channel. So it is true. At the same time, I'm going to upload this video. So whoever takes the time to look at it, then by all means, I don't mind criticizing Naughty Dog. I mean, I just said that Neil's a cuck for doing what he did. Neil Cuckman, that's what the meme is. He's an asshole for doing what he did to the YouTube channels. he's an asshole for the way that he reacted. And at the end of the day, it's your game. If because out of your own decisions and actions it gets leaked, then deal with the responsibility. And he didn't want to take that responsibility and put it on his shoulders. That completely, utterly sucks. What people need to understand is that I haven't really tried to be biased, even trying to keep people excited on the game. It's just been, it all came at once. All this hate came out of nowhere. All these videos I was not expecting to even be making them. I still had like 4 videos that are ready to upload for The Last of Us Part Two. That because of these leaks, because of this hate that happened, it doesn't even make sense to upload them anymore. So it's a shitty situation, and it sucks that there are hundreds of millions of dollars that this company has, and they can't even pay their employees decently. It sucks, and I know that if they don't change, they're gonna get way worse backlash than what they got, this year, and it was horrible for them this year. With that said, every time that I said that The Last of Us Part Two was going to be successful, I didn't say it in a way where, and this is something that people took out of context. I didn't say that The Last of Us Part Two was going to be successful because it's a great game. It was just a statistical point of view. Yeah, people love this game. People love the first game. If they didn't love it, there wouldn't be all this uprising on the internet of hate that's happening. So it's got to be successful either way. Even this publicity that may very well had thousands of people cancel their pre-orders. Other people, it might have the complete opposite effect, and other people pre-order it just to get back at the people that are hating the game. There's so many things that could happen in the human brain that the only thing that I can say for certain is that Naughty Dog fucked up in multiple parts with the copyright, with the targeting YouTube channels that are just individuals like you and me, regular civilians that are stuck in this 9-to-5 system that we're already trying to get out of. Why would you go and strike our own passion, our own YouTube channels? That's ridiculous, and I don't respect Neil Druckmann for doing that. I did say that in one of my videos, but I'm still getting the game. I still think it's going to be a masterpiece. And history tends to always repeat itself, and it's quality. I know it's going to be a quality game. For that reason alone, I'm playing it, and I'm choosing to put to the side everything that also sucks about the company behind this game. So I get it. From the start, I'll say it again. I get it. I get it. I understand. I guess I'll be the Buddha in the background.
I want to address something.
There. Yeah, or go ahead.
No, it's just basically about the bias comment. The difference between videos and right now. Like sometimes, as a creator, you have a mentality when you're going to make a video. You already have your mind made up on something. So there's a difference between a discourse and a pre-planned thing. So it's like the benefit. I'm kind of giving Breakthrough the benefit of the doubt on that aspect. I don't want to speak for him, but like. Usually when you create a video, Crow, I don't know if you agree with me, but you already have like something in mind.
Well, I would say Dave Marks probably said it the best. Like,
Yeah.
I can't imagine Guy Fieri is like that all the time. It would be exhausting.
Yeah, like what is it?
Let me search up Guy Fieri. I don't even know who Guy
He's
Fieri is.
he's the diners, drive-ins, and dives guy. The spiky blonde hair and the fucking
Oh, that little.
Yeah. The TGI
Can you
Friday.
imagine being Guy Fieri 24/7.
He's a golf ball. Wait. There's what 24/7 about Guy Fieri?
Being that personality 24/7.
Oh my
No,
god.
yeah, I've seen him on TV so many times. I've never actually watched any of his direct movies or shows or whatever he does. But yeah, you can tell he's a goofball just by looking at him.
Yeah, no, he's a food guy. And actually, funny thing, I lived in a town where we had one of his restaurants, and
Okay.
it was just way overpriced food that was really subpar. So fuck that guy.
Thought you were gonna say it's trash.
Okay.
No, like here's the thing, right? You have a channel that's and people say the paid shill thing, and I'd say, your channel, your videos are monetized, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Regardless of what you want to say here to what I'm about to say, you get paid by YouTube, not by Naughty Dog, not by third-party company. I don't want anyone to take that out of context from me. You do get paid to do videos about The Last of Us 2. Your channel is really dedicated to The Last of Us 2. If this game were not to do well, I said this when I was on John's stream. I remember the Battlefront 2 channels. I don't know if you remember the Battlefront 2, the Star Wars game.
How they were really, really, really peaking out of nowhere, it just crashed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
Yeah.
I can understand why you want to spread positivity about the game, and why your videos are largely positive about the game. Because first off, you're a fan, and second, it is your business to have that channel dedicated to that game. I think that's a fair point. Or would you disagree there?
No, yeah, like it would be counterproductive for me to say that this game sucks. It would be counterproductive. It would hold me back from continuing this channel growth of fans for this game if I'm gonna out of nowhere start to criticize the game. Which is why I'm glad that we jumped on this debate, because those few people that really have their mind made up about me, or those few fans that really think that are starting to question themselves, like, oh, this guy just has nothing but good things to say about The Last of Us Part Two. Hopefully, they take the time to watch this, because that's not the truth at all. I felt a little bit cornered with all the YouTube channels that were happening and all the disses that were taking place. And when you feel cornered, emotions can get the best of you, and that's the only reason I even uploaded a mobile phone. Like we were talking about an hour ago. But a mobile video, I meant to say.
Yeah.
It's just everything happening at once.
It seems like you've acknowledged that wasn't the best idea that you had.
No, not at all, not at all. But the thing is, I had such affirmation and confidence in what I was saying that I didn't care. I didn't care about whether it was a
You're
mobile or
passionate
not.
about the game. You're passionate about the game, right? Like, here's the thing. I'm passionate about Final Fantasy VII Remake. I love that game. I do. And yeah, I'm going to acknowledge that game's got a lot of flaws. There's a lot of things that are just put in that game to fluff you for time, right? The side quests in it are legitimately awful, right?
Okay, okay, okay.
But I still love that game. I love the story. I love the characters. And I can acknowledge that game on its own is a bad game. Because if you have no context of Final Fantasy VII, it's, there's a shit ton of things that just ain't going to make any sense to you at all, period. But I still love that game, right? I will speak very passionately about that game. And when people, they diss I don't know if you know the thing about the ending of the remake game, but when people trash the ending and they say that's not what I want, I sit there and go, oh, fuck off. I love that fucking ending. I thought that was great. I like that. I like the fact that everything's going to be just different, right? Like, because if I want to play Final Fantasy VII, I'll go play Final Fantasy VII. I actually wanted to see what they could do differently, and you blew my fucking mind. So, but that's my opinion, right?
No, it's a good thing you brought it up, because I'm not trying to push anyone into any corner. I'm not trying to categorize anyone. I'm not trying to generalize any group of people. But the only reason I did do that, it's because there was a group of people that were just taking this a little bit too far. Like if we had just the quartering, you, me, Griffin Gaming, anybody at all that had anything to say about this game the past 2 weeks, and we all just came together as YouTubers and had one single video where we all just did what we just did the past hour and a half, it would have just died right then and there. People would be like, all right, well, we can't really go in circles anymore. The game's not out. They all acknowledge that Naughty Dog fucked up here. I guess whoever wants the game gets it. Whoever doesn't want it doesn't get it. But ADD kicking in. I don't even know what I'm replying to right now. But the point is that
look, I think I get where you're coming from. That's honestly, that's why I asked you earlier. Do you really want to debate the quartering? Right? It's not because look, man, I think it's a bad idea for you. I really do. You don't have to respect my opinion on it. It's my opinion here. And the reason why I'm saying that is not because I think you'd win or you'd lose. Right? That's not the point. It's because this entire controversy has not helped you out at all. It hasn't done anything for you. You've lost just as many subs as you've gained. You have a lot of negativity surrounding your comments. I can't imagine that's very healthy for you. I can't imagine that's something that you look forward to seeing. And to be frank here, you are just debating an opinion, right? As bad as that opinion is, it's someone's opinion. And you can say, well, it goes too far. I'll be frank, like I can find the polar opposite in the other direction, because that's just how people are. So
of course.
What I think is probably the best thing for you, and I haven't been on this platform for as long as you have. I don't have a channel as large as you have. I'm not monetizing my videos. For you, it's a business. I think the best thing for you and your channel is to stop engaging with people who want to bring up trauma. Like the Griffin Gaming guy, if he wants to take shots at you, I don't see how responding to it on your channel works out in your favor, because your channel.
And that it was stupid to even reply to him, considering the fundamental of his channel is trolling. So obviously, there's no debating with a troll. It's just entertainment purposes. So
You're not a commentary channel. You're not a drama channel. You know, you people were not. I mean, I don't know the situation of Griffin Gaming, so forgive me. Sorry, but
it's
you're
all
not.
good, man.
You're not a channel dedicated to controversy or call out culture or any of this stuff. It's like you said, you got spun around, you got very emotional, which I can totally understand why you would get emotional about something that you said more than 2 years, right? That you spent all this time working on, and now you see all this negativity surrounding it. I understand why you were emotional about it. It makes perfect sense to me. But yeah, again, and I'm urging you not to, right? Just because you don't seem like a bad person. It's like Or was saying, there's a way that you are in your videos, and then there's a way that you are when we're having this discussion. Like, to your credit, you're very different than how I thought you were going to be, right? You 100% are. I don't think
I don't blame you. Yeah.
I don't think it's good for you or for anything that you are doing, for anything that you want to happen, for any of your growth. And I get it's a point of pride, but sometimes you got to suck that up and just move forward because
look at the big picture.
Yeah, you said you're not a religious person, but pride is a sin, and it's a sin for a reason because people do some stupid things for their pride, and it leads them in some very bad directions. The stuff with quartering, I mean, is the quartering a dick? Yeah, 100%. Like, I'm not going to defend the guy. Does the quartering latch onto things and not let things go? Yeah, definitely. I can tell you right now. Yeah, 100%. But it's not worth it because the quartering is not a channel dedicated to talking about video games, right? He's a commentary channel. He's a culture channel. You're not those things. If you want to be those things, go for it, right? I think you could do it. I think that you got to be open to all the criticism, all the backlash, because that stuff exists for the quartering too. He's got a large fan base, don't get me wrong, but there are plenty of people that love taking shots at the quartering. I
didn't notice it really until I started to see all the exposed videos. Because when you look at his channel, it's almost like he's protected, like, great ratings, can't really see too much hate. But just because he has a large channel doesn't mean that there's also opposition. No, I get it.
Imagine these videos comment, Crow.
I'm going to go into that because first off, we have to talk about the devil thing because I really think that was bad. That was really bad. But there's something else here, and we got to talk about how he defended Taj for fake crying on his stream.
It wasn't fake. It wasn't fake because I was there. And
let me finish reading the comment.
I'm sorry.
We're going to talk. See, I got tripped up here. We're going to talk about how he defended Taj for fake crying on his stream, then alluded to the fact that talking about it could lead to his suicide. Now, I want to clarify two things. You say it's not fake crying, right? But also, when he talks about you alluding to suicide, you did bring up suicide in your defense of Taj, did you not?
Yeah, I did, and then it's a shame that I brought that up because I should have brought that up way further into the development. If this would have kept going, I should have brought that up on my part 2 or part 3 if I wanted to react to Griffin Gaming.
Here's the thing, man. I've had to deal with this with friends. I've been in that mental state when I was younger. I don't think that comment was in any way appropriate to make in your defense of Taj. I get it, what you talk about online bullying and things like that. I understand what you want to say there, but trying to do you remember, like you said, you're a fan of Star Wars. Do you remember the trailer for Rise of Skywalker when that came out and you had that kid who was like everybody laughed, right? It was funny. I think even the guy in the video acknowledged that it was ridiculous what he was doing. Right. But I mean, that's like, man, I don't think that people are, going into I don't think that it was Griffin Gaming. I think that did the video about him. Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's true.
I don't think Griffin Gaming posted that clip of him, made fun of him, and then said, "Hey, everybody, here's a link to his channel. Why don't you go let him know how you feel?" Like, I don't think he did that. Right, so I don't think
he didn't do it, and a lot of it just happens out of cause and effect. Like, if we really want to get technical, I caused the drama to happen. I opened the door, but then I'm also not fully the one responsible for how it turned out. The same way that Griffin Gaming caused Taji to get hate, regardless of whatever way he wants to look at it, because it's just cause and effect. He has a YouTube channel, so I guess I should have not brought it up because at the end of the day, it's just the way people are. It's not. Do I disagree that maybe Griffin Gaming should emphasize more that, hey, don't go and call this guy the N-word? Which, by the way, that was never a lie. I was gonna make part two, literally just I stopped because it wasn't worth it. But this man Tajay had over 40 people call him the N-word. I'm not talking about nigga. I'm talking about the one that ends with ER.
Hard
And
R, yes.
and they were comparing him to a cotton plantation. Literally, I have screenshots of that and texts of that. And Tajay came from being someone that truth be told, I don't even really like Tajay like that. Me and Tajay, and I'll say this publicly, me and Tajay have had problems in the past. Tajay saw me as a threat just because I was one of the few YouTube channels that was up there in terms of The Last of Us Part 2. And ever since that, I couldn't take him as serious because I saw how he let certain things get to him that just didn't really make sense. And again, not trying to be hypocritical, clearly I've done something similar to that, just like this. I should have reacted different. I should have not let it get to me, but I did. And I know I said that in my video. I said that in my first video after all this started to blow up, the whole devil thing. The video right after that, I said that my downfall was my emotion. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how what else to say or how to describe it. It's just
Well,
I
I
guess
mean,
it is what it is.
I think you've acknowledged that maybe that was not the best course of action. You responded emotionally; it was a mistake, and people make mistakes. I think that's the best way of saying it. You're not defending it, and if you were, then I would have much worse things to say here. Believe me, because I really I don't know if you've different situation, larger YouTubers, Ethan Klein, Keemstar, they're going back and forth,
Oh
and
yeah, I see that. Yes.
one of them tried to weaponize the suicide of Etika against the other. Right? To me,
Okay.
that was the most disgusting thing that you could possibly fucking do. Like the dude is gone. He needs to rest in peace. I'm not a fan of trying to weaponize suicides. I'm not a fan of trying to use that as a tool to shame people. I think that you went in that direction. Maybe that wasn't your intent. Maybe you're just responding emotionally. But again, I'm glad that you're acknowledging that it was a mistake. I think we should just move on from that point. Now, as far as the like someone, Magic Mosquito, who asked the question originally, he says, I mean, the racist stuff is uncalled for. It always will be for the lulz or not. Yeah, it's not cool. Like, we're in another stream with a guy called 224 Vic. It's up on his channel. And I said that, my own brother is promoting this diss track about one of our friends. I'm mentioned in it. And they're calling my fiance. You probably saw her walking around here a little bit ago. She's black. They've been calling her an ape. I understand. Yeah. Look, neither here nor there. My point is, I get it. It's never called for, right? We all watch South Park, but if you're doing it to hurt somebody, if you're not, kids make jokes. I get it. But if you're really just doing it because you're trying to hurt somebody, it's not called for. You're being a fucking jackass. You don't need to do that to people. Now, as far as the crying, whether it was real, whether it was fake, I'll be honest with you. I kind of thought that it was a little bit hammed up. When you said in your video he was doing it because there were developers that jumped into his stream, that kind of made me think that he was definitely hamming up. Now, you said that he was 100% real there.
I know him on a personal level, so it's easier for me to say that. But I do, when I saw the video, like it was cringe. I mean, just you taking that part out, and then you see I mean, he's not a grown man. He's like 19, but you see an adult just reacting with tears to this game. I get why it's funny to a lot of people. For someone like me, I also understand why it's not that big of a deal. Like, it's pretty normal. I mean, people got emotional from Last of Us Part 1. And then I didn't even have an opinion on it until I talked to him on the phone, which was after all this controversy blew up. And that's when he clarified that there were so many developers. There was about Anthony Newman was in his live stream. I think Victoria Grace was in his live stream. Anthony Newman's one of the main guys that has been friends with everyone up in terms of Neil Druckmann, Naughty Dog. Neil Druckmann replied to one of his DMs on Twitter, so he felt like the chosen one for this game. You know, you get what I'm saying? So here he is just reacting to the game like everything's coming together.
Look, I get it. That's why I said I feel like he's hamming it up a little bit. You say that you know the guy. I don't, right? I'll say this. Aura was with our channel at the time. We had Ruben Langdon come onto the channel, and we did a whole interview with the guy. Dude is incredible. Like, do you know who he is?
What's his name again?
Ruben Langdon.
Ruben Langdon. It sounds really familiar. I'm going to search him up right now.
I'll give you the spoilers. Devil May Cry. He's the voice actor for Dante.
He's Dante, and he's Ken from Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I see his face. I see his face, and I see him.
Yeah,
okay.
The thing is, I'll give you the background story, right? Toy Bounty Hunters actually put me in touch with him. I went to a convention. Toy Bounty Hunter said, hey, he needs someone to go there and film his panel. So I got to do that. I was excited. Like, I really was. I played the Devil May Cry games plenty of times.
You didn't cry.
Like I did. Maybe that means I don't have emotions. I don't know, but I didn't.
No. It's everyone's different, man. I mean,
but my thing about bringing that up is that's why when I looked at it, I got to say it seems kind of fake. I don't think Griffin Gaming knew it was real and called it fake because he was trying to send hate to us. I think he thought it was fake too, right?
I agree with. Because appearances, I mean, in a world where everything's temporary, the only thing that's permanent is appearances, which is weird to say because the appearances mislead, but that's the world we live in, and all appearances with my channel pointed to me having some sort of connection with Naughty Dog, even though I'll still say it, not true. All appearances with Taji's video, especially of everything that was happening in the world, all the hate, all the new leaks that came out, you combine all that and that's why from the start it's kind of hard to have an opinion when both sides are true, and from the start I've never wanted to discredit that people that are supporting this game are also doing the same exact thing, the people that are hating this game. It's not about right or wrong, it's about just progressive, regressive. Are we going to keep going in limbo and just debate with people that are getting this game and trying to bring other people down? Can we just express how we feel about it and then not, carry it on like someone like the Quartering that just does it strictly for spamming views? Anything like that nature. It happened. It's the internet. I'm not wrong. I'm not right. The Quartering's not right, not wrong. He just so happened to. He just so happened to go to a bit further extreme than what I did. And in my opinion, I feel like
I don't want to. I don't want to seem like I'm dragging up old stuff. I think you both went too far. Like, I think you really went too far here. You've acknowledged that you made mistakes here. I don't want to backpedal from that. I don't want to say the Quartering is worse than you. I don't want to say that you're worse than the Quartering. I think we just got to acknowledge that mistakes were made here. As long as we do that, you can grow past it. If you try to say, I definitely made mistakes, but let's be honest, he was worse than me. Let's not do that. And one of the big things, and I want to clarify this for everyone who's watching and everything, for everyone who's going to watch, because you said you'll put this on the channel, just so that they all have the comment that was made by you, because the devil thing, I think, was I know
one of the main driving points for the gossiping and stuff.
And you know what? I think that let's just play it out here. So this is from your channel. I think I've got it clipped to the right spot. Old Man Joel looks pretty cool, I'm gonna say. I wish I could look that good.
Wait, can I explain why I put the title that way?
Okay, go ahead, because I think a lot of people are wondering. You did call the community toxic.
Okay, and I also put great news, like it was something that was confirmed. Two things. One, when I'm a firm believer that when you affirm something, when you believe in something ahead of time, it'll end up manifesting. If there was any chance it wasn't going to manifest, it'll help me. Spiritual factor, but that's not even the main point. That was a 30% reason why I put that title the way it was. I knew that by me putting good news in those two words alongside The Last of Us Part 2, with all the controversy that was happening, that was going to piss off a lot of people. And it worked. It got 50,000 views. But
so you clickbaited people.
Exactly. But that it was like a sweet victory clickbait. You get what I'm saying?
I understand where you're coming from, buddy. Like, I do. But I watched your videos criticizing the Quartering. You talk a lot about how he clickbaits people, but you did it yourself, and you did it.
But I think everything's circumstance, though. I really do think that.
I oh my gosh, sorry. This comment just fucking got me. The devil comment made us cry. The devil cry. That's good. That was good. That was good.
Oh my god.
Look, I understand why you did it. I do. You wanted people to watch your video. You wanted people to see what you had to say. You got exactly what you wanted, right? But that's what the quartering wants too. So
No, yes.
like I think what might help the situation, regardless of, like you said, you understand quartering's got a lot of people who hate his ass too, right? Who love to hate on the guy. You said there are so many videos talking about exposing the quartering. He's got a deal. Like, I understand he's a larger platform than you are. So imagine all the hatred that you have, right? All the criticisms that you got daily, just over the short period of time. Now amplify that times 10 over the course of 2-3 years, right?
Yeah, it explains a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
not trying to. I got my problems with the quartering too. I have plenty of criticisms for the quartering. He went on a Twitter tirade over like 48 hours because someone made fun of his fucking hat.
You remember that?
I remember that.
What?
Yeah, so someone like made this comment about his hat, and they were like, I wonder if his wife cucks him over how stupid his hat is, or cringe his hat is, something like stupid like that, right? And he went on a 48-hour tirade on Twitter over it, right? It was dumb. He should have let the shit go. Again, it's one of the things I think is a detriment to his character. But again, everything that you say you had to deal with, all the emotional reactions that you were having, again, amplify that by 10 and then spread it out over years, right? It's
No,
clear.
and I agree. I guess I just, first time, like first time for everything, I guess. But I agree. Yeah. I mean, it's the same way with my situation. Like, as all this hate fades away and Last of Us Part 2 gets closer, the people that are going to be left watching my videos, it's not going to reflect that much hate on my channel. The ratings are going to be good. Comment section is going to be good. But behind the scenes, all these people do hate me. So I get it, and he probably has his own reason for being the way he is. I mean, everyone is a reaction out of whatever cause they created. Everyone's a result out of I don't know, a form of thinking. Everything starts with the way you think. So. Clearly, this hate probably dictates a lot of his emotions. That's why he's the way he is. I fell for the same trap. With all due respect, I feel like he continued to be in that trap, and he still does, because it's not really a trap for him. It's a way of squeezing views and squeezing more money, even if he's making a fool out of himself in the process. So I respect the hustle. In the same way that he clickbaited for reasons that I would say were immoral, and then I look at my video and yes, I let emotions get to me. So I would not do anything different with the title. I would have done the video different, and I would still left the title the same way, and I would be proud of it. I wouldn't even think of looking at it as clickbait, because I'm really trying to give people a new perspective, about this game versus what they've been hearing from a few certain individuals that are just very, very one-sided. So I should have done. My downfall was letting emotions get to me, and I mean, you're right. You're right in that sense. I don't have any excuse for that at all. It was my first time, and
Well,
it's been a
again,
good 4 or 5 years since something like this happens.
you're not a commentary channel. You don't do call outs. And I think that was your main issue. I think that going through your videos, I have not seen a single video done by you in which you are doing anything like this. So, if you're going to call somebody out, you got to be prepared for the clap back, right? You have to be
Of course.
prepared for that. And I think what made it worse was, on top of the fact that this is just not the content you do, when that clap back hit you, I don't think you were ready for it. And I think it just caused everything to spiral. So, like I said, the way that you spiraled, with these videos that you did, I understand that you're proud of them. You're going to leave them up. I don't think that it was beneficial for you to do them.
Oh no, I agree 100%. It was not beneficial. It's just been limbo.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And as far as the quartering goes, whatever his faults are, whatever his issues are, whatever you think his deal is, right? You got to understand that he deals with substantially more hate than you do, right? He does. Right? That's just the fact. And I'll be frank with you. The hatred you gave him, he did not respond to every single video that you made about him. Yeah, I know he said he was going to accept the debate from you. I don't think he did a video in which he said, "Look at this retard," which you did, right? Because of the backlash you were getting. So you got to acknowledge that he's been dealing with it longer. He can clearly take it because that's all his channel is, right? It's commentary. It's calling people out. It's having people respond to him in many of the same ways they respond to you. Now, does he get a lot of love from his supporters? Yes, absolutely. But he gets a ton of hate. He does. He gets a ton of hate from the commentary community as well. Message you wanted to share to people. He did it because he wants to put a new shack in his backyard, right? And
I like that. I like that. I appreciate that. It is an unbiased way of describing it, and yeah, I can see that you guys see both sides of the same. There's two sides to every circle, so both sides of the same coin. So I appreciate that.
now I want to. Yeah, sorry, Ora. Yeah.
No. John wanted you to basically. Did you go over his comment that he made about Taj? I think his name is Tajay.
Yeah, I think I highlighted it. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I kind of did, but let me take out the screen share just here for a second.
Yeah.
Breakthrough. Not sure you realized it, that you by you mentioned that you made an argument for why Taj faked it.
Yeah, I mean that's why I don't believe in right and wrong. I just believe in, again, progressive, regressive. Where everything, when you look at the grand scheme of any concept in this world, it's literally relative. From medicine to school to how you build a program, the coding, what differentiates one from the other. Let me not get into weird subjects or spiritual crap. It's all about the intent. It's all about the intent.
If you want weird subjects and spiritual things, watch the Ruben Langdon interview. It's fun.
Ruben Langdon interview. Okay. No, I will.
He's an interesting guy. But look, I didn't want to debate you or have you here because I wanted to run this mad defense of the quartering. It was never about that. I was looking at the videos you were putting out there. I'm someone who's critical of this game based on what I've heard. And what made it even worse is, I'm watching your videos, you're calling the community toxic. And I'll be frank, I never saw you do a video criticizing Naughty Dog, who I think is the real villain in this whole thing. Not, they chose their own narrative structure with the game. It is what it is. And maybe everybody's wrong. Maybe the game is going to come out and Joel's death will be heroic, right? Maybe he stays back to stop Abby from killing Ellie and he's just too old, right? Maybe that's the case. Maybe she grows and learns from it. Maybe she kills Abby at the end and we all get righteous vindication. That I can totally see that. I really do. But the reason why these leaks happen, I don't buy that some random hacker, unless Naughty Dog's defense is our servers are totally insecure, don't give us your personal
And after having this conversation with you guys, I agree. Yeah, that definitely was not a hacker. I mean, if it was a hacker, then you have that power. You leak every other game that's still hidden behind the shells and give it to the world. But no, this seemed to be much more personal, emotion. Like he really hated Naughty Dog. So that seemed very personal. And that I'll change my opinion on that. Now that I've talked to you guys for the past 2 hours, and that opinion definitely changed. Yes.
No, and I appreciate that you kind of see where we're coming from there. But the villain here is Naughty Dog. It's they treat their staff like dogs, right? They work them like dogs. Naughty Dog is a beloved company in the gaming community because of the content that they've made, right? And I think that you have people that want to go work at Naughty Dog because they love the games that they've come out with. Aura, big fan of Jack and Daxter. The Last of Us, the first game. I imagine there were people working on The Last of Us 2 that wanted to work at Naughty Dog because they played that game and they were just so damn excited to be able to work on the second one. And they got there and they get paid fucking crap. They get put in and working fucking 18 hours a day. Their friends get sent to the hospital because they're overworked and they get no overtime. And I would imagine that drove someone to say, you know what? Fuck these guys.
And just out of curiosity, all that you stated, it's already been proven. Like that actually, like that's a real guaranteed thing. Like all these employees, all the underpaid,
Jason Schreier did the expose for Kotaku.
You did mention that. Yeah,
you should be able to look that up. He's got the statements from the employees, and I think even further back than that, about 2 years, I want to say, the employees were complaining about the crunch. They were complaining about the treatment that they were getting, right? So this is not something that, it's just an unconfirmed rumor.
It's
Jason,
reoccurring.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, Jason Schreier gets a lot of criticism for his opinions, but for his actual journalistic pieces, the guy is thorough. He doesn't do clickbait. He doesn't lie. He doesn't speculate. He doesn't substitute his opinion for fact. Now, he writes an opinion piece that'll probably piss people off, but he did actual journalism there. And there are employees who have come out and stated that their coworkers went to the hospital because they were overworked. So
Okay. Okay. No, and that's something that I knew about. Obviously, just making videos for the game, it's something that was already in my brain, and I knew it was a problem. I just didn't know how serious it was. And again, I have no problem denying it because I do the Last of Us Part 2 videos. My initial instinct is not going to be to find every reason to hate Naughty Dog. It's going to be to find reasons to continue to want to look forward to this game. So I have no problem admitting that, and that's at that point I don't even think it's about right or wrong. I just think it's cause and effect, just the route that my life took when it came to making videos on this game. So yeah, I remember. Yeah,
I'll give you some credit here. You're a gamer, all right? You're not a journalist. I'm not a journalist, or is not a journalist. We're people who like playing video games, right? I don't expect any of us to dig into these stories outside of an expose being written, and then we read about it, right? Like, I wouldn't expect you to say, "Hey, I'm a fan of The Last of Us, so I did a deep dive on Naughty Dog," right? That doesn't it doesn't make sense, right? I think it's fair. But there's a comment from Magic Mosquito. Now, this I don't know if it's confirmed or not. I'm sure you could probably look it up and figure this out. But Neil Drunkman got his advance pay while no one else on the team did. So stuff like that, right? Now, I don't know if that's true or false, just because I haven't looked at that story myself.
I think it's just like a deduction that he's making based on what has actually been confirmed. Like all these employees, they're very tight. Look at the underpay. Look at all these problems. So I think maybe he can clarify it if he wants to. But I think he was just throwing something out there just to like, oh, he probably got paid before everyone else or something.
My thing there is, right, you're upset about the leaks, right? You're upset about the way the community is reacting to them. CD Projekt Red, right? People love that gaming company. We don't hear these stories coming out about CD Projekt Red, and they produced Witcher 3, which I mean, that is a beloved game, and everyone is
I've heard a lot of great things about it. I've never played it, so I should probably play
that game. You need to play that game, dude. You gotta play that game. But you talk about playing Cyberpunk 2077. They made Witcher 3 as well, right? So you'll see when you play Witcher 3, you'll get even more excited for Cyberpunk 2077. My point of bringing that up is they don't treat their staff this way. We don't have people coming out doing these exposés on the poor treatment of their employees, but you see that about Naughty Dog, who I would say is arguably they're a bigger company. They've made more profits. They've generated far more revenue. So there's a problem here. And again, these leaks did not come out because some random hacker.
There's a problem with the mentality that the higher ups have when it comes to Naughty Dog. I agree. I think that Neil Druckmann's a little confused. I think that Neil Druckmann is to say the least. I think that he took the route. I mean, this is very well known. The Last of Us Part 1 and The Last of Us Part 2, in terms of how both games were made, yes, they complement each other. Yes, they're similar, but The Last of Us Part 2 came with an intention. That intention was to spread more awareness when it came to the LGBT community, when it came to just, in general, everything, females, transsexuals, gays, bis, all these things that I don't want to get into or give my opinion on, but they're implementing those things into the game. Otherwise, they wouldn't just emphasize back to back the fact that
yeah. And one thing about Ellie's character, right? I remember when Ellie was confirmed gay I think it was in the sequel, or not the sequel. Sorry,
Left Behind, the DLC.
Yeah, I remember there were some people talking about it, but for the most part, people love her character. Like, they don't see her as just a lesbian, and that's all they see when they look at the character. They see, I think we said it in the stream with John, or maybe it was the one that we did on the channel. They see Ellie as your own daughter. because of how close you are with that character when you're playing Joel. Like, you're concerned about her, right? And there's those little moments, right, when she gets the gun and she backs Joel up, where he gives her the little handgun, where he's asking her if she knows how to use it, like, trying to tell her, do you know how to take the safety off? And he's like, you have a strong connection to that character, and that comes far before anything about her sexuality, right? The fact that
That's
she's a
true.
lesbian,
That's true.
I think it's just a bonus for the LGBT community, who are also into gaming, because you want to talk about strong representation. I would say that that's what you would want in a gaming character. You'd want somebody that the audience relates to, that they love, that they are very upset because they think that she's going to be killed, right? I would say
Well,
that all the stuff that they people talk about. There's this whole thing with Twitch, where one of their trust and safety council members is transgender male to female, who's also a furry that self-identifies as a male deer. So we got a lot of stuff going on there.
well, sorry to cut you up. I'll say this, and it's because I have no problem expressing what I believe to be true. I have nothing against anyone who is gay. My best friend Alberto Robles, he is gay, and he, let's just say a few times that we've smoked, he's gotten a little bit overboard that I've had to put him on pause. I have no problem against anybody who is gay, but the whole transgender shemale, I think that that's an agenda, and the Rockefellers, which is really off topic, but the people that control the central banking system that we're all slaves to, in the 70s, they already had documents that literally said that we're going to make society to where there's no difference between a little boy and a little girl. I think it's soul tormenting to a lot of people to confuse children and even give them an option to change their sex, because people don't start thinking about something unless you bring it up. So that's my opinion when it comes to
We can
transgender.
do a whole video on this, and
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
was like, that's a whole new like.
Yeah, it is, and I'm not disagreeing with you there. I think that a lot of this is agenda driven. I think that Crowder's got a whole video in which he talks about this person, this doctor. I'm going to gloss over this. Sorry, so go watch his video on it. But he basically stated that there's no difference between a little boy and a little girl, and this little boy lost his penis. They surgically removed it when he was a child, and they raised that boy as a girl. Well, that person suffered depression. They had a lot of anxiety, social issues, and when they found out the truth, they immediately wanted to be a boy because they knew something was wrong, right? Like, you can't just force two people to be. You are who you are. You can't just force that onto someone. Now, is that to say like gender dysphoria isn't a thing? I think it is. And we'll leave it at that.
I'm
right?
gonna do moderator stuff, right?
Yeah. Sorry.
Are we gonna should we check out that video that you had highlighted probably like 30 minutes ago? If
Yeah.
not,
Yeah. Thank you for saying.
Oh yeah,
that.
okay, yeah.
because I'm like, we're almost two hours and 30 minutes in, and I don't know.
We're gonna wrap up here at the 2.5 hour mark, so we only got 13 more minutes to go here.
Okay.
Alrighty.
The thing I was trying to state was, this is not like a toxic white male gamer thing going on here that people are upset about this game. Like, the reason why I brought up that Twitch Trust and Safety Council members, because she's gone on record saying that she thinks the majority, she or he, I don't even know anymore.
It's a deer.
Deer, yes, Deer thinks that most gamers are white supremacists, and says that that's a fact. It's their opinion, but it's a fact. My point in bringing this up is people are more upset that Ellie is going to die. They think that she is going to die. They're really pissed off and angry about that because
So a lot of people really do think she's like, that's it, Ellie's dead before her characters are going to be gone.
Yeah, a lot of people think that.
Well, crap. I mean, you're gonna have to play the game, because I mean, I'm not to sound like a psychic, but if you just actually look at the leaks and dissect it, like it kind of confirms it that she doesn't really ever die.
Well, I'll say this: a lot of people think that's going to happen. It is what it is, right? The game's going to come out. People are going to spoil the game. You're going to have Let's Plays. You're going to have the entire thing out there. And if she stays alive, I'm pretty sure that's going to do a lot to repair the damage there too for people, because they don't want her dead, right? They want her They want to see her story continue and flourish. They want a Last of Us 3. They want to see Ellie become an adult, right? So that was my main point there. This is not some, oh, people just don't want to play this game because Joel's not the main character.
No, there's real legitimate reasons behind it. I understand. Yeah.
Okay, so let's play this because I want to just get it on the record. This statement.
To boycott The Last of Us Part 2 and then continue to go back to The Last of Us Part 2 content just to bring other people down with them. I mean, do I really need to describe what that sounds similar to? The devil himself. The devil.
Okay, so there you have it. Your point, just to be clear here, is that people who say that they will boycott the game, like I would say that I'm one of those people. I'm not going to buy the game for various reasons, right? But I'm making content on this game regardless. It's not about bringing people down, right? It's got nothing to do with that. I'm legitimately upset when I see those leaks, and I'm disgusted with the company and the way that they treat their employees, right? So for me, listening to that comment, right, and hearing you say that people are boycotting the game, but then they're going back to make content to spread misery, and that sounds very similar. That's like the devil himself. You can understand why, we've had a long...
It's a very extreme statement. I know. Yes.
So that was a mistake to say that.
I'd say I should have said the same thing, but in a different way. I should have not said that it was the devil. I think the devil was cut everything like, oh crap, like, because I don't want to change the narrative. I really only met people that are just coming back to hate on the game and are spamming on the comment section. And if you keep watching the video, I also like clarify 10, 15 seconds down the road into a little bit more detail what I meant by people. It just I should have done a video a long time ago exposing all the wrong things Naughty Dog did. That would have put me in a much better position to make the claims that I did, such as this one right now, which was for a lot of people very extreme, and I didn't do that, which is why I'm happy that we did this debate. The devil thing, I mean,
I get you're not a religious person. You said that you're more. I'd say that you say you're.
I just read a lot of books, so in scripture it always talks about how the devil wants to,
I get it. I do. What you mentioned the Quran earlier, so I'm Muslim, and I'm not the most deeply religious or dogmatic person. I'm drinking right now on stream. Technically, that's a sin. So
I love the Quran. I love the Quran, by the way. Just so you know.
Well, it's
the
just
beer, not the virus, right?
Yeah.
No, the Quran's like the only holy text that we have nowadays, besides a lot of Buddha.
Oh, he said
texts.
The Quran. I thought he said he loves the Corona. I was like,
Oh, Corona. Oh, no.
Like that makes way more sense now.
No.
Like the reason why I'm bringing that up, it's not. I don't need you to say anything nice there. The point of the statement is that as someone who's even moderately religious, hearing you say something in which your criticism, the words that you stated, could easily be applied to me. So hearing that I am essentially like the devil, I mean, my reaction to you, and it'd be very different if we didn't have this 2.5 hour stream, is to just tell you to go fuck yourself, right? And that's, I think, how a lot of people who hear that comment are going to think. Now, I understand that you say that people are taking it out of context, that you're not saying that everybody who's upset about this game that they're the devil, but in your own words, you could apply that statement directly to me, right? And hearing that, right, if I didn't know you, if I didn't know that you don't really take it as seriously, I would just tell you to go fuck yourself, and I would automatically go and just hate on your video, right?
No,
And
I get it. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I just want to know, when I said, is it a mistake? And you say, well, I would still say the same thing, but I get delivery as a thing there, but I think you jumped to an extreme to elicit an emotional reaction out of people. And you got...
And it was too soon. It was too soon because a lot of these people were when this hate was peaking, it was almost a momentum of a group of people assembling together. It was way too soon for me to give that opinion, versus if I would have said that now and a little bit less emotional, people would have probably taken it completely different. So I agree with you. Yeah.
I mean, Dave Marks says, even if you replace the devil with complete asshole, it's an offensive generalization. Look, I mean, I think that's true. I think that you can state that if you're somebody who wants to bring other people down, misery loves company, you shouldn't do that. I think you can say it in 100 different ways.
Yes, yes.
And it can be valid criticism. I just think that, I'm trying to be fair and objective. I think that you're a very different person on the stream than the way that you are on your channel. And I do respect that. Again, I respect everything you've done here today. You've acknowledged your mistakes. You've said that you'll be covering the controversy with Naughty Dog itself, which I think is really important. I think you can even understand the Quartering, who you clearly don't like, and I don't blame you. I'm not saying like this guy and kumbaya or whatever, but I think you can even acknowledge that he deals with a lot of hatred too. And I don't think that you've doubled down on anything that just completely makes no sense, But that comment, it is offensive to people. It's offensive to hear it. And I understand what you're saying. It's like it's too soon. I don't think it needs to be said at all, right? I think you can make the statement. Obviously, misery loves company. People get upset about something, they want to shred that misery. People are excited about the game too, want to spread that excitement. People just want to talk. Do you need to jump
No,
in?
yeah. So I see that. I see that, and I understand that if I would have said the people that want to buy the game, they're going to come up with reasons to buy the game. The people that don't want to buy the game are going to come up with reasons to not buy the game. And if I would have just said that, there would have been no wave of hate. There would have been no reaction because people would have not
That would
taken
have been
it
the truth.
personal. Yeah, it would be the truth. Like that's the conclusion of this entire debate, which is crazy. Like no matter what, like people that were gonna buy it, people that don't or not. And I said that, but I carried it on and I stretched it with my own emotions and I took it a little too personal because at the end of the day, I'm just one YouTube channel. I mean, some people say I'm the king of The Last of Us, but my views don't really show that. I wouldn't consider myself successful until I have at least 500,000 subscribers.
Well, I will say this: you're one of the few channels that is openly promoting and defending the game, even after the leaks. You've clarified exactly why. It's not because you're paid by Naughty Dog. We've clarified that. We've clarified the relationship with Omnia Media. We've clarified we've even clarified who your aunt is and why her name's on the channel. We've gone through that, and I think that you've been very fair. In taking the questions that we've asked. I think the comment section's also been really fair with you. I don't think anyone's come out, cross-eyed and stupid and angry or belligerent. Like you said that you've kind of seen.
I'm going to be very surprised if people react similar to you guys' comment section on my channel.
Yeah, Magic Mosquito gave him props.
Yeah. Pretty sure most peeps here think live BT is way cooler than the BT we had seen on the channel thus far. Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Magic Mosquito, I don't think liked you very much when we started this stream, but I think he really does respect you for the way that you behave during the stream. Because the videos are one thing, who you are in real life is very different. Again, the final thing I just want to say here is, if you turn around, and you go to your channel, you do that video on Naughty Dog, you're going to post the full stream for full context so everyone can see it. If someone wants to respond to it, if someone wants to continue to insult you and drag you and call you a page shill or whatever, I think the worst thing you can do for that is to respond to it, because you're not a drama channel, you're not a commentary channel. I don't think that you need to call communities toxic or anything to get your point across. I think that you were doing very well for yourself. Because as all these channels turn around and turn their backs on the game, you could have been the channel that was out there still promoting it, still doing your videos talking about why people should play it. And I think that there's still a market for that. But I think the negativity that you drew into yourself, I think that was the worst possible thing you could have done for yourself.
No, and I agree. I agree with that. I should have ignored it, especially considering my plan didn't work. I mean, my plan was to actually go on this guy's live stream and completely humiliate him in his own live stream. So that never happened. So this was pretty much all for nothing. I get it.
What is it? Check it out. Magic Mosquito is Manny. That's the guy. That's John's friend.
Oh, hey.
What's
up,
Manny? I only know him as Manny. I never knew.
But okay, so look, again, I think you could have gone onto the Quartering's channel. I think you could have humiliated him, as you said, destroyed his arguments, and I still think you would have gotten just as much negativity and backlash. I think, in fact, it would have been worse. You know why? Because it's the internet. there are going to be people who are just quartering fans for the sake of being quartering fans. They're the same people that are already spamming your channel.
No, yeah, I would have probably had pizza delivered to my house by now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
again, and not from the quartering, but it takes a very small fraction of his fan base to be very pissed off and angry at you, to keep trolling you, to keep going out there leaving the comments. So, again, like if the quartering came out in a week and said, "Hey, come on my channel," and you came in there, hot, heated, emotional, I think that would be what actually destroys your channel and brings out the worst side of you, because you're definitely not that kind of person.
Crow.
Like, just from this conversation, you're definitely not that kind of person, dude.
John is about to hop in real quick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think he might want to say like a piece or something real quick.
Ben,
John, hurry up.
Where is he?
He's like, can I call in? He has the link, I think.
I put it in Twitter.
Yeah, you should
Or
have
was
it.
Discord.
I should make a Twitter, right? I should make a Twitter, and there's actual substance to Twitter and spreading information.
Buddy. I mean,
It's a yay or nay thing. It's very toxic, but it's self-promotion at the same time.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, if you made a Twitter, you should only like post when you do a video and don't ever respond. I make that mistake every fucking day. I see a political post and I'm like, ooh.
He's like, ooh.
Crow's bad with politics. He's gotten clipped like how many times? 3?
Okay, so hold on. Let me just make sure. Can you make sure John has the link, please, Zora?
Yeah, I'll double check it.
Thank you. I got my first account suspended, and it was for what was it? There was some guy saying the term mongrels was racist, right? And the fact that one of my friends was using the term mongrel meant that they were a racist, and as an Arab, I should be offended by it. And I said, he's Australian. It's a term they use in Australia. Like, it's not racist. And the guy keeps saying it to me, and I was like, look, dude, mongrels isn't racist. If you think Arabs specifically need to be offended by the term dog, right? Mangy dog or something, then I think that you're the only one who's being a mongrel right now. And this white dude immediately reports my post for racism. I post something later on, and the same dude is like flagging my tweets and says, "You haven't learned your lesson." And I'm like, dude.
So it's like some guy with a bot that just has multiple accounts, who's flagging you down just for the heck of it.
And he flagged me for a tweet, and I think in the tweet I said something like, someone said that they can just do whatever or something like that. I can't remember exactly what the statement was. I said, yeah, you can also go jump in a lake. It'd be equally as stupid. And that got taken. That got my account suspended because apparently I was promoting suicide and self-harm. And I was like, no, I wasn't. I was saying it'd be stupid to fucking do that. And then,
oh man, that reminds me of something. But when you finish,
yeah, the most recent account that got taken down happened pretty quick. And it was right when I hit 400 followers. There was a politician, and they said something really stupid. And so I responded to it with, "You can kiss the brownest parts of my ass." And got me taken off Twitter.
Oh, man.
Okay, John, welcome.
Yo, what's up?
Fix your mic, buddy. You got this.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, he got it. There you go.
Good.
Cool. So I'm just stopping in real quick, because I have some stuff to do, but I just wanted to come through and give props to Breakthrough, because I'm going to be honest with you, dude. I've been one of the people that's been vocally critical about the videos that you made. I'm actually the one that had told Crow about this stuff. And the thing was, nothing that I ever said in any of the streams was ever personal. Like, I never called you names. I never said anything derogatory towards you, but I did feel that a lot of your arguments were very poor. I'm just being straight up, man. They were very poor. And I was like, man, if you're going to go with these kind of arguments to try to address the people that are your detractors now because of this stuff, it's not going to go as well as you think it's going to go. From seeing this debate, I will say my opinion has changed on that. I think, okay, he would have done a lot better than I would have initially had thought. But I still stand by, I don't think it would have gone as well as you thought. it might have gone for you, because on a platform like that with what the quartering has, I mean, it'd be much easier for him to embarrass you, right, than say you embarrass him. It's good, like I said, that you stepped up and did this, because I think this will actually clarify a lot. You clarified a lot of the things, but I think that was one of the issues before with some of the stuff that you were doing, was that you didn't, when you were responding to him initially, you weren't really clarifying the points.
No,
You know what I'm
it was mostly saying no, you're wrong, and screw you. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah,
I understand.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I'm like, ooh, if he's gonna go in like this, I don't think that's gonna go the way he thinks it's gonna go, because he's not really directly addressing anything that was being said.
Yeah.
So you've done that here, which, like I said, props, man, because it takes, it takes guts. It takes guts, regardless. No matter how big or how little the audience is, it takes guts to step up and stick to your convictions and stuff. So just wanted to come through and say that. And yeah, man, the other thing too that I noticed in your videos was that you made a lot of arguments for people too in your videos. So there were times like the stuff with the Tajay stuff, I'm like, well, you just made an argument for why people can now question the legitimacy of why he's having that emotional reaction, and you didn't even realize it, right? Or at least out of the video. Maybe you realized it after the fact, but not in the context of the video itself. You know what I mean? So that's what I was saying. Like, that made me think, like, oh my God, if he goes onto Jeremy's channel, Jeremy's gonna destroy him. You know what I mean? Because it's so easy to pick those kind of things apart. You know what I mean? And the other thing too is that you left context that Jeremy provided in his videos that validated his arguments and not yours. So it was pretty obvious, at least for me, looking at your videos, I'm like, he's a little bit out of his element and how he's responding. And maybe that's, I don't know. Maybe
just to clarify on what you're saying there, John, Dave Marks actually said it pretty well. I don't doubt Jeremy would be deliberately antagonistic.
100% he would be.
Pointing out hateful chat comments, everything to rile you up. And you know what? I think that, as John was saying, based on, like, I was agreeing with him in his stream, because you definitely clarified a lot of things. You admitted where you've made mistakes, and I think that there's a lot of respect there, because people don't like admitting mistakes, and you did. But the main thing is, if you go onto a platform with Jeremy and you keep talking about how you're going to destroy him, how you're going to humiliate him, I will be 100% frank with you. It won't be an honest debate. He will be in his element with his fans. They will all be laughing at you. He'll start laughing at you. He'll start pointing out people making derogatory comments towards you.
A very controlled debate, not too much of a free debate there.
No, yeah. To Jeremy's credit, he knows how to dig under people's skin, right? He will dig under your skin.
With that confidence that he has, yes, that's the best tactic.
Well, and again, like, you're a confident guy too. You say that it's a point of pride for you, right? Like, you openly admitted that. So when he goes out there and he belittles you, he calls you a child, he calls you a pretend gangster, he talks about how you're in your mom's minivan, and he keeps taking those personal jabs and shots at you over the course of an hour with a chat that's hostile towards you. I mean, I understand how you feel it's going to be, but, like, I'm telling you, with the pressure that you were getting, right, it's so easy for him to just dig into you and rip you apart. And the way he's going to do it is by getting you to do it to yourself. He's going to get you heated, emotional, and you'll make your own mistakes.
Yeah, and once you lose sight of that arena, once you get off the arena, that's when you lose the sight. The second you make any extreme, he may very well be doing exactly what his own fans would have accused me of doing in his live stream, antagonizing me. But no, I get it. I agree with you guys. It's something that no matter what, people that are clicking on that live stream, if that debate were to ever take place, which at this point I doubt it, they're mostly there just to get a good kick, and they know Quartering's channel, they know what he does, they're still subscribed to him, and that's the one they look up to. So you're right, it would have probably not gone down that smooth. Yeah.
No, but hey, like I said, look, credit where it's due. You shut up here and you spoke to Crow, because I think, I don't think I speak for myself, but I think even some people in the chat would agree. There was questions as to whether or not you would follow through. You know what I mean? It was like, he probably won't. Let's see. He might back out.
I'm surprised he messaged
if
me
he
back.
really wants to. Yeah, we'll see if he really wants to, because some time had elapsed before you even had responded to Aura. So it was just like this might not happen. So, but it is what it is. You did, which is good. Stepped up. So like I said, credit for that. And yeah, man, there's nothing. It's nothing personal. You know what I mean?
There's no ill will, I think, from anyone here directed towards you. I think that the way that you came on, and you didn't have to, right? We're a smaller channel. You could have not come on. We could have done a roast to like 20 people watching the video, and you could have completely ignored it. So you still came on. You still expressed yourself. You still said what you had to say. And again, I'm pleasantly surprised that you were willing to admit, even before we started, that there were things that you did were wrong. And I just think there's a lot of people who are in your situation who would have done the exact opposite, who would have come in here, acted like a big man on campus, destroyed me, quote unquote.
But by me trying to step on you guys, I'm just stepping on myself. Any overpowering, just it's a ripple effect, just comes right back to you. So I mean, I can't do anything else besides be unbiased. Literally, this is the only way that, for example, the second I would have shown any emotion in that debate with the quartering, that's the second I would lose. So I'm very well, I'm aware of that, and I accept that. Yeah.
So I want to say thank you for coming on. I had some other stuff I was going to talk about with you, but to be frank with you, you've already acknowledged where you went wrong here. So I'm not someone who wants to just sit around and beat a dead horse. I'm sure that there were some people who were hoping that you would come on here and it would be really confrontational. And I'll be honest with you, I'm glad it wasn't, because there are debates that are like that. There are conversations that are like that, in which they can go on for 3 hours and people are just looking for those 10 minutes where people are beating each other over the head with a stick, and you don't get anywhere with that, right? Everyone just retreats to their most base instinct, and the fact that we didn't need to do that, the fact that we're able to have an honest conversation. It's like you said. I don't think you really call this one a debate. I think it was just a nice conversation with you.
Yeah.
And my opinion of you has completely changed.
Yeah.
Now,
Same.
I still think you're open to the criticism for what you did in the past. But
It's like
everyone
redemption.
it's you grow past it. I'll look forward to the content you have on your channel. I'll look forward to the video you do about Naughty Dog, and I'll be honest with you, because I'm not planning on playing the game when it releases, but I'll watch your channel. I'll watch any streams you're doing about the game, Let's Plays, anything like that. And you know what? If I find out that I'm wrong about the story, I'm wrong about the leaks, the Joel's death is actually something that's it's not what I have in my head, then maybe I'll go ahead and buy the game, because you definitely seem like you're someone who's worth paying attention to, right? You definitely seem like you're not some paid shill, which I know you're being like hit with that criticism nonstop. It doesn't seem like you're just promoting the game for the sake of promoting. It does seem like you're a legitimate fan.
This is not real diamonds. I'm not a pimp or anything. This is just something I got this from New York for like $40. Yeah.
There you go.
I had to throw in that joke at the end of the video.
Good, buddy. Anyways, we'll let you get out of here. We're sorry we kept you for nearly 3 hours.
No, not at all. Don't apologize. If anything, just let me know when you guys want to go for episode 2. I'll be here.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if there's more stuff about the game, if there's more controversy, if there's more drama that you get hit with, you can always come on and talk with us. We're not. I'll be frank with you. When we're watching your videos, I was definitely more antagonistic, but I'm not just going to beat you over the head for the sake of beating you over the head to get applause and cheers. I don't like doing that shit to people. Like it's one thing to see a video where I'm upset by what I'm hearing. It's another thing when you're actually here in front of me. We're having a nice conversation and we can just get everything out into the open. I think that's better for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, thank you guys very much for the opportunity. I mean, 2-3 hours. It would have taken me 5-6 hours to edit a video, but here we are. I have my video for the day, and I get to clarify a lot of things. And even if it's not about The Last of Us Part 2, I'll gladly jump on the show and talk about all the central banks and the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds.
I mean, I appreciate your time. I appreciate your responses. We had good engagement in the DMs and stuff, so there was never really an issue. And thanks for the follow up. Like, it's very rare anyone offers to do anything else with us ever again after this.
I could care less, man. I could care less. But I go smoke a joint.
Yeah,
man, take it easy. All right, guys, this is the end of the stream.
Demonetized. Yeah, it's over. It was his plan the whole time.
CBD, hemp.
Man,
real
you're
quick,
good. Don't worry.
You know what I realized? I got to promote the Patreon at the start of the streams, not at the end.
Shit.
Yeah, I'm terrible at this. Here we go. Let's do this. Our Patreon subscriber is Lady Titania. Thank you so much. $6. It's really going to help out with that sandwich that I'm going to buy and never share with Origami.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're amazing.
If
All
you
right,
have
guys.
if you have our outro music, play us out and let's head out.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, I do. Hold on. I got this. I've been preparing my entire life for this one moment.
I believe in you.
One moment of redemption. I just got to find the thing. I found the thing. I got it.
Okay. All right.
Hold on.
I got it. Just wait.
Just wait, guys. Just chill out. Like this.
It's right here, right now. Just wait a minute.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
This is actually live on the YouTube channel. Let me head on over to YouTube and see how I look.
Is that the one? I can't hear a thing, but whatever.
That's the one.
All
That's
right,
the one. Thank you, guys.
Good enough.
Bye-bye.
All right.
This is why you don't get a sandwich.